Go time, showtime. And it's not even Sunday. It's Wacky Wednesday with weird friends. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to our Weird Wednesday Live with our weird friends and this weird host who likes to strum his guitar and sing a little weird song for you. That's your cue.
It's amazing the camera goes on and all of a sudden you're so nice.
I'm awake.
30 seconds ago? Not so much.
Not awake.
It's called jet lag. And you got it bad.
Yeah, really bad. We both have it bad. Ain't that right?
What should we sing about?
You already had a song in mind before we went live. You don't remember?
I call it, Does George Have Jet Lag? The answer is yes. It was a very short song. Wait. George?
Jeremy?
Where are we?
Where are we?
Yeah!
You're asking me. I just woke up. I still got eye crusties.
You got it bad. If you love the Egypt videos.
Thank you, Tricky Cheese.
Type. If you love the Egypt videos, type. You do it. That was weak.
Weak
that was
sauce.
Really weak
Total
sauce.
weak sauce.
If you love the Egypt videos. What rhymes with videos?
Schmidios.
And you like seeing all the mummies' toes. If you like the Egypt videos, type.
In the chat, in the live chat.
If you love the Egypt videos, type. Oh, hi, Susanna. If you
Susanna.
love the Egypt videos, type. Oh, Susanna.
Thanks, Adventures.
If you love the Egypt videos, and you know that rhymes with schmidios. If you love the Egypt videos, type. Oh, hi, Susanna.
The chat's going wild. And hi, Susanna.
Oh, it's not going to stop.
Funny story about Susanna. We'll tell you later.
If you love the Egypt videos, type Alabasta. You know what that means? Run! If you love the Egypt videos, type Alabasta. Run! If you love the Egypt videos and you know that rhymes with schmidios. If you love the Egypt videos, type Alabasta. What else? What else?
I love Egypt.
If you love the Egypt videos, type I love Egypt and American Girls.
Tricky Cheese says she loves the Egypt videos, but she loves the store.
Oh, that wasn't an option. If you love the Egypt videos, type I love Egypt and American Girls. If you love the Egypt videos and you know it rhymes with schmidios, love the Egypt videos, type I love Egypt and American Girls. Which all of these have a story to it. If you haven't kept up with the videos, you've missed the stories. If you love the Egypt videos, say I love French fry sandwiches. Wait, you know what? They haven't seen that
French
video.
fry sandwiches.
They haven't seen that video yet. I have to back. Hold a second. Reverse. If you love the Egypt videos, type $1.
Did you have ketchup soup?
Photo $1. If you love the Egypt videos, type photo $1.
Did Rocky see you eat ketchup soup.
If you love Egypt videos and you know it rhymes with your videos. If you love Egypt videos, type photo $1.
The chat's going wild now with $1.
I mean, I can keep going if I really need to. All right.
Woo!
They gotta
Give it
be
up
wondering.
for Jeremy and his weird song.
Give it up for George. She's finally awake. She slept most of the afternoon. I literally got her up 30 seconds ago, and she was not in a good mood. Turn the camera on and bam!
I mean, I do appreciate you waking me up softly instead of like how you usually do, like in an uproar. This time he actually did it softly.
How softly did I wake you up?
He petted my hair like this. He did a pet. He was petting my hair at first because usually he's just like, ah!
That's what I did?
Yeah.
You've had a rough time with the jet lag. So
I feel though you have it worse than I do.
Oh, hands down. When we got to Egypt,
Yeah.
my jet lag was
He didn't know what to do.
horrible.
He didn't know what to do.
Horrible. And George just kept saying, I don't have jet lag, and then she would sleep all day.
I'm
and
fine.
And then she'd be up all night. She's like, will you please stay up and watch a movie with
Thanks,
me?
Angela.
And I was like, babe, if we don't assimilate to their time zone, this is going to mess us all up. And lo and behold, it has so messed me up.
It's the 7-hour time difference is one night of sleep.
Yeah, it's a night of sleep in all reality.
Yeah.
There were some days in Egypt that I had to sleep the afternoon because I just could not take it.
And it's beautiful and sunny, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's sleeping. But I was patient.
You were sleeping too.
No,
And
there was times where I was standing over the bed just staring. Didn't you feel me burn?
You are such
a hole through
a
your
creeper.
soul?
You are such a creeper. Probably taking weird videos too.
I was of him snoring.
There you go.
I even had there was a moment where I went to go take a video of him snoring because he was snoring so loud midday, and he was on his side. He's like, "Ooh, I was snoring on my side." I'm like, "You snore no matter what position you sleep in."
You were snoring all last night. And you know who didn't take a video?
You, because it
Not
didn't
me,
happen.
because I took video. What are you talking about? There's no one that didn't not take a video.
Didn't happen.
I took a video
Of me snoring? You haven't showed it to me.
It's a secret
Or did
file.
you save it to share it for
It's
all
in
the
a secret
weirdos
file
watching?
for another video. I'm not letting you get away with that after you set all this stuff about me snoring. But coming back, which we are back, and that is not as originally was planned, which we can talk about some of that tonight.
Yeah.
But we are back in Ohio. That doesn't mean the Egypt videos are done. We are back in Ohio as of Monday morning, very, very, very early Monday morning. We got back 12:30 a.m. So technically Monday morning. And
Thanks, Sammy.
Christian and Patience picked us up at the airport, and we can't talk about that whole trip. There's so many things that we could share, but they haven't seen that yet.
There's so much has happened in the last 3 weeks that it's hard to know whether we shared it yet or we haven't, but there are going to be more videos this week, and that'll finalize our Egypt trip.
Which our minds are foggy because of all of the jet lag. And coming back, then you have jet lag coming back as well. So George likes to say, I'll ask her, you have jet lag? She's like, no, I'm perfect.
I'm fine.
And
I'm sleeping.
She's literally been asleep all day. All afternoon, she's been asleep. But on the same token, I got up at 3 a.m. last night. So I was like, I've been up since 3 a.m. because my jet lag is so bad, and forcing myself, I could not go back to sleep. And so I started working and editing, which we typically work around the clock anyway. So it's funny because there's some people that say we don't have a real job and we don't really work. And yet we work more than people who go in and work on a 9 to 5 or clock in 40-hour week. We work around the clock every day.
That comes with the territory
of fun employment.
unemployed.
And there are many people that don't understand can't even grasp in their mind what it is to run your own business, let alone it's not a business for us. It's businesses, multiple businesses. So getting up and being up at 3:00 and just working is probably the best thing to do because we came home to a mountain of, it took me all day just to pay bills the first day back on Monday. All day was an office day, just paying bills. And then getting up with, I didn't have phone reception. I was supposed to have phone reception in Egypt. Didn't have that. So I had to get up to speed with everybody and everything that we were lagging behind on. But we are back in, are we in Ohio?
OH.
Are we seriously, or is this just a green screen?
OH. I'm saying it loud and proud. It feels good to be back in OH.
So you're happy.
This is not a replica background. It's the real deal.
So you're happy to be home in Ohio.
Yes, it really is. Like, there's no place like home sweet home.
I thought Egypt was your home.
Egypt is the motherland, and Egypt is the home of...
And sometimes mother can be a little too hovering, and you're like, hey, cut the umbilical cord. I'm going to Ohio. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I was born and raised in Ohio, so it feels good to be in Ohio. Even when we were in Florida, like, it felt good to come back to Ohio, just because Ohio is my stomping grounds.
Where were you stomping? It's too cold. Are you kidding?
Regardless whether we have 4 seasons and winter being one of the worst seasons because it's so cold, and with the snow, as pretty as the snow is, it's the older we get, the rough it is to handle. It just felt good to be close to friends and family. Regardless,
we have ice, we have snow, we have sleet,
but you know what,
rain
on the flip side, there's no honking of the horns. There's no pedestrians jaywalking in front of you nonstop.
Amen. Preach it, sister.
There's no horns honking nonstop.
Oh, there's no
stray dogs barking nonstop. There's no cats fighting nonstop. There's no over the speakers all day long.
4:30 in the
prayer
morning.
To call all day. So
we have dryers.
Yes, it feels good to be back in the heart of the winter where there's snow in Ohio.
Where you have a clothes dryer and you have a shower curtain. The simple things that we take for granted when you're over in a third world developing country and then you come back to a first world country, the simple things you take for granted. Yeah. A shower curtain. Just a shower curtain, which seems so basic to us. Yes. And yet other countries think nothing of it and don't utilize them. But they do know how to utilize a car horn.
Thank you, Rocky.
Yeah.
Rocky said it was funny when you would try to say words. Oh, you had my aunt cracking
They
up.
have no idea what's still coming. No idea what's still coming.
Thanks, Joanna. Yeah, as much as Egypt was an awesome experience, and we got to explore some of the ancient wonders of the world and just the history behind Egypt. And
huge, yeah.
And it was a once in a lifetime opportunity, that's for sure. We are definitely glad to be home.
Uh-oh, Marilyn Raby said we came home too early.
I'm not finished with your surprise. Oh my goodness.
I did beg George all day today. I said, it's too cold. I don't want to be here. Can we go somewhere warm? She's like, yeah.
Sure.
She's
You're
like,
the
sure.
man. I'll let you decide whatever you want. I plan the Egypt trip. You can plan the next three trips.
George is not like that at all. Not like, oh,
Sandra said, did you hug your dryer when you got home? Yes.
Yeah. I made sweet love to it. Are you kidding? That thing was nice and warm. So cuddly with all that lint in the trap.
Marilyn. Yeah.
Yeah. So having one of the things that we were talking about, even when we got back. So the very first thing, Monday, I've slept very little. And the very first thing I did, I was probably up. We got picked up, or we got to the house at 12:30 in the morning. And then I was probably still up at 6 a.m. So very first thing.
Thanks, Deborah.
Very first thing I did is I started laundry immediately, because we did not have that luxury or pleasure. We had the ability.
I washed limited limited laundry for you when we got to my aunt's
Yeah,
place.
when we were at your aunt's, which basically they're going to see that in another video as
but
well.
something as thick as this
cannot
would
be
take
washed because
days.
there's no such thing as a dryer unless you are of the richest class in Egypt, which there are very few, or you're a hotel.
Thanks,
And
Diane.
in a hotel, this would cost $10 to have washed and dried.
$10 US dollars, not 10 pounds.
So
10 US dollars.
It's actually amazing to just have a clean hoodie again that doesn't smell like pyramid and desert. And so just the simple things that we take for granted. And that's one of the things going into Egypt that I said to you is like, every time I go overseas, I come back going, I am so spoiled. We are so spoiled. It's always an eye-opening experience when you go see another culture in another country. You're a part of their customs. You're a part of their way of life, and realizing that we take so much for granted and we're so spoiled here in America. And that's just the truth.
Says falafel. You forgot to say you smell like falafel.
We got back. Do you want to tell the story? Like we got back and you were like, oh, I smell so bad. She starts smelling herself. She smells like falafel and foo. So bad. And I'm like, and I'm like, all right, let me take a whiff. And I was like, oh my goodness, you stank. You rank.
It was layered on. As it tastes good and it smells delicious, but like that after smell isn't always as pleasant, if you guys know what I mean.
Which part of that was we weren't taking full showers because no shower curtain.
Thanks, Sammy.
Hot water tanks are very limited. So again, Egypt is a developing country. They're just implementing AC and so air conditioning. Hot water. Their hot water tanks are smaller tanks.
That's a good idea.
So basically, we were just we were washing our pits and our faces.
We were taking Egyptian showers.
You basically take a rock, get it wet, and you put it under your armpits. You rub your face with it. You throw the rock out back in the desert, and you're good to go. and really, that's what we were doing. So that smell and that stench of those foods were really stuck to you. Really bad.
Not anymore though, right? Or is it seeping through my pores?
They were really stuck to you. Really bad.
Do you still smell it now?
I would appreciate it if you didn't do that.
What, waft the falafel?
I don't want you to give me the falafels anymore. The falafel, you keep your falafels.
Jeremy loves to make his own words. So instead of saying falafel, he calls it falafels.
It's a falafel. It's a foo waffle.
Rose Blue says falafel fuss.
Oh man, that's real. That is real.
That's so funny.
A falafel fuss is real. So I'm sure they have a ton of questions, and we have mail
Adventure
tonight.
Says 150 Egyptian pounds sounds even more ridiculous than $10 US money. It really does.
It really does.
It really does.
It really does. So I'm sure they have a ton of questions, and we have mail tonight. Why don't we get into some of their questions? We can go as long as we want tonight, in all reality, if you don't pass out on me.
All right.
You going to land like a rock star, or you going to pass out?
We'll see what the next hour.
I already know what you're going to do. You're going to keep me up all night. Please stay up with me and watch movies because you were sleeping all afternoon.
It doesn't start off like that. That's not how I sound.
Well, I'm not going to tell them how you sound.
Can you go pop me some popcorn?
That's true. No, it's usually the subtle hints. You know what I really missed when we were in Egypt? What? Your parents? No. Popcorn.
Because that's like our treat to ourselves when we have time to watch TV or a movie, which isn't very often. We treat ourselves to a bag of popcorn.
I treated myself to a bag of popcorn at lunch today and about 10 Luigi ices because we didn't have any Luigi ice.
We didn't have access to any of that. And then we like to top off the butter popcorn with like a
little sprinkle.
Aged cheddar sprinkle that you buy from in the popcorn aisle. Oh my gosh, it pulls it all together. It's so good.
So no doubt they have questions. I've seen a ton of their questions in the comments, and the channel has grown to the point. There have been certain parts of growth in the What the Hales channel. When we were 30,000 subscribers and under, we used to respond verbally with a sentence to every single person that left a comment. And then once it got to that point, there was no way. It would take so much time to respond to everybody that we transitioned to hearts and likes. And then it got to a point where we can't put that attention into it anymore. It's just not physically possible to live our lives and even just heart and like every comment.
We do read them all.
We do read them. So they all get read. And so we're still at a point in our lives where they all get read. So no doubt there are a lot of questions because I've seen a lot of questions.
All right.
So
let's
why
get
don't
into
we
the questions.
Let's
then.
get some questions and then we can get into all this mail,
Okay.
which there is a lot of mail. Everything behind George is mail. It's stacked up high.
All right. First question from Todd was, did Christian and Patience have a party at your place when you were gone?
They better not have. I mean, we gave them some very, very simple rules.
And they broke a couple of those simple rules.
How do you know that?
They broke them.
I'm going to have to look into that. I might have an employee meeting tomorrow. I might have an HR meeting with Christian and Patience tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes.
AJ Bergs wants to know what part of Egypt was your favorite.
Do you want to
So for me,
answer and then I will?
Anytime someone asks me what was your favorite, I would say I don't have a favorite.
She answers that to every single question.
I don't have a favorite.
But then she'll later and go, you know what my favorite is? And I'll go, no, you don't have favorites.
I don't have a favorite, but I can appreciate pretty much every city that we did visit. I could find positives in everything, and there was always like something that, you know, was part of the experience that I loved. And for me, I didn't have a favorite. The entire thing pulls it all together, and you'll see later on there's a souvenir that I get that like ties it all together.
So
I brought back.
I'm going to answer for her because she's not going to answer that question. She will later. She'll be like, you know what my favorite was? George appreciated Luxor way more than Cairo, Alexander.
Probably because of the sunset.
So Luxor,
Sunsets
visiting
are my
Luxor
obsession.
was George's favorite because there was less honking of the horns. There was less Muslim calls to prayer in all reality.
No, we still heard it.
There was less. It's noise pollution. It's just what it is. They just broadcast it all over the country. And so if you're relaxing, if you're sleeping, anything, it's an interruption to somebody that's not a part of that culture. And so there was less of all of those things. And so George actually appreciated it more.
Well, mostly because we got to see sunsets right on the Nile. Like
nice.
As soon as we landed, I got to see my first sunset at the airport, but being able to see a sunset right off of water, no matter where it is, like we used to love watching sunsets off of Lake Erie.
We didn't used to, we still do.
When we first started dating. Now we don't have the luxury of being that close to Lake Erie, but that was probably the prettiest. Those were the prettiest sunsets that we saw. Mel, do you want to answer what your favorite part was?
Well, or
did you just answer for the both of us?
Well, I was answering for you. And one of the things George said, she's like, oh, wow, people are actually happier here. You know,
that is one thing that I noticed is that
Luxor.
The people were so much happier down there. That especially the workers, like the employees, they seemed less stressed. They were more happy. They were smiling. They were cracking jokes. The feeling was less chaotic because like when you're up north, it's just congested between Cairo and Alexandria is like the two most overpopulated cities. And so people are always in a hurry when you're in like congested cities like that. And Luxor, people just actually took their time and they weren't in a hurry and they were in a better mood.
So my answer would be if you had an opportunity to visit Egypt and you had to pick one place to go, I would strongly suggest Luxor. I would not suggest Alexandria at all. I mean, in all reality, there's really nothing.
The Mediterranean Sea.
I mean, you can see water anywhere. You can see water anywhere. But if you got one opportunity, Alexandria looks just like Cairo. It's just as congested.
Thank you, Mary Jethy Deals.
And Cairo is so congested. And frankly, it's filthy. I mean, when it comes straight down to it, I mean, it's a third world country. It's filthy.
They are expanding though. So the expansion and like the new development.
which is for the rich.
Mm.
I mean, the reality is they're expanding. Egypt is expanding. Really, what they're doing is they're separating their classes. They don't have a middle class. They have the rich class and they have the poor. And the poor class by far dominates the rich class. And so really what they're doing is they're dividing their rich class from their poor class as they develop. And there's reasons why they're doing that. But if you had one opportunity to go to Egypt, and one place, you had to pick one place, hands down, Luxor. And
there's also Aswan, which is like a 3.5-hour drive that I would have loved to have visited, but we just didn't have.
I mean, we could have stayed longer. We
could
came
have
back
stayed
early.
longer and visited, but it's
what you're going to
it's
visit.
Pretty much another city that looks just like Luxor.
You're going to visit more temples.
Yeah.
So at some point you go, okay, I saw all the
fatigue.
rocks. I saw all the rocks all stacked on each other. I've seen hieroglyphics. I've seen it. You can go see another temple and another temple and another temple and another temple. It's the basic same construction.
At that point, they all look the same.
They all look the same. So that's why we did not go to Aswan. We got to see the Temple of Karnak, which was just mind-blowing.
We found out it was 60 acres.
60 acres, yep.
So it's slightly smaller than the ranch.
Smaller than the ranch. And so the hot air balloons, it's the only place in Egypt where it's legal to do hot air balloon rides. And then you've got the Valley of the Kings, you got the Valley of the Workers, you got the Valley of the Queens. And so strongly, I would suggest Luxor over anywhere else in Egypt.
And the coolest part of Valley of the Kings is that King Tut was buried in the Valley of the Kings, and his mummy is the only mummy that's still present there in the temple, which was super cool. And I didn't even know this, but he was 19 when he passed.
All right.
I mean, I may have learned it in history class, but it probably went in one ear and out the other. Melanie wants to know, did you get Egyptian license plates?
Ooh.
I wanted to. We went to the bazaar, which is like
which you will not see until Thursday. You will see it on Thursday. We mentioned
that we were going to, because it's one of the popular like tourist attractions, and I would have loved to have gotten an Egyptian license plate, but a lot of the vendors sold the exact same things. It was pretty much the exact same things.
Just think of a giant flea market.
Yeah.
And
a lot of the
and
things
that's what it is.
It's
just a giant
China.
flea market.
Yeah.
Giant flea market made in China, just like Webster's in Florida. If you go to the all brand new section, there's a reason for that. And it's part of Egypt's economy, and it's part of Egypt as a country as a whole. Egypt is an extremely poor population. As a matter of fact, I think the latest statistic I saw was almost 65% of Egypt's population is what we would call a side hustle or a non-taxable, you're not reporting it, income, cash income. It's for the extremely poor. They're always hustling, trying to sell you something. That is the vast majority of the people's income in Egypt. And so you'll see a bazaar everywhere, and everywhere, someone's trying to sell you something. And that's 65% of the nation. It's the extremely poor. Vast majority live off of almost $2 a day, which was the last statistic I saw. And then you have the extremely wealthy class. You don't have a middle class in Egypt. And so that's a dangerous thing for anybody who understands business, anybody who understands economics, anybody who understands history of a country and development and what happens in a country. That's a very dangerous thing to have those two income classes, because what happens is eventually they both implode and civil war erupts, which you can see that even as early. I think the last rioting was in 2020 and from the poor, 2019, I think, from the poor as well. And it's going to be a nonstop bam, bam, bam until typically, as we look through history, what happens in nations such as that is everything self-implodes. So it's a much divided income structure and economic structure in the country. It's very, very interesting, but everybody is in a side hustle. Like 65% of the nation.
Kids are. A lot of
the kids are. You will see something. You'll see something in Thursday's video, and it is a child. And as he's doing it, you're going to think, "Oh, that's so sweet." He's not doing it because it's so sweet. It's all a sales tactic. It's all a sales tactic. Relentless, putting stuff. He literally put something in George's pocket.
So where in the U.S. there's labor laws, there is no such thing as labor laws in Egypt. So Damon Gray has an interesting question. He wants to know, is the Nile a river in Egypt? I think
I'll let you take this one. I think you'll take this.
It was a sarcastic
question. We like sarcasm.
And he spelled it denial.
Oh, that's Nile. Yeah, the Nile
Yes.
is a river in Egypt.
Yep.
So as many of you know, the Nile is the largest river in the world, and it's one of the only ones that flows north. So, and remember, the only reason is because of the natural grade. Natural grade goes down. That's the way water is going to flow. It's going to take the path of least resistance. It just so happens we think in our mind, if it goes south, that must be down, because we look at a compass and we go, south is down, therefore water must go down. No, that's not how it works in the world. Water goes down which way the grade goes down. Which we
found interesting as well.
So in Egypt, the Nile goes from the south to north because the grade goes down south to north.
It goes all the way up into the Mediterranean Sea, which we found interesting. And again, something I probably learned in history class, but it went in one ear and out the other.
And now you'll never forget it until tomorrow. You'll be like, oh, what was
that? I'll forget again. Angela wants to know, did Christian and Patience get caught up with eBay sales while we were gone? People were probably like, well, what did they do with their time when we were gone?
It's a good question. I'll ask them when I see them.
We're going to ask about that party too.
Yeah. There's a lot of things we're going to have to talk about in that HR meeting tomorrow.
Dave wants to know, is there a lot of sand in Egypt? Which reminds me, I did want to collect sand when we were in Egypt, which I managed to get some sand. So right now it's in a little Ziploc bag. I just need to, I need to
get, you got it up there.
I need to get like one of those nice, clear jars with the top to put it on.
Do you want to answer that question? Is there a lot of sand in Egypt?
Absolutely.
95% of the country
is desert.
Is desert.
And like where we were, different parts of the cities, you could see that the sand was different colors. Like where they were doing new construction and demolition, you did see like the different colors of the sand. Cheryl wants to know, did y'all ride a camel? We talked about having camel races, didn't we?
We did talk about having camel races.
Eagle Deb.
But I think to answer the question, they're gonna have to watch the videos, the rest of the videos.
We still have how many videos?
One. Thursday's the last Egypt video.
And today's Wednesday?
Today is Wednesday. So tomorrow they get the last
tomorrow wraps up the Egypt adventure. I thought Saturday was one too.
No.
Okay.
But if you want me to stretch it out into two, I probably could. I could have stretched all of our videos out into 2 or 3, but it just didn't feel right. I just wanted to put it all together and go, this is it.
Thank you, Beth. Someone in the chat asked, is George's name Susanna?
That's a good story. Let's hear it.
Because we released that video, didn't we?
Yeah, it's already been released.
Susanna?
It's already been released. But if they missed one video, or if they only watch a portion and they don't pay attention and they don't get the full storyline, they're asking the question because they don't follow the full storyline or they missed it in the video. Yeah. So if they don't pay attention to all the details, they missed the story. So do you want to tell the story?
So the story was, okay, so a lot of you in the chat had mentioned that you loved our tour guide, which we had 2 that we featured in our videos. We had Camille when we first got there. He was awesome. He was incredible, which, by the way, he had messaged us to see how we were doing. He's been watching the videos as well. But when I booked the excursion to hire a tour guide to take me, by the way, when you go to Egypt, when Jeremy and I travel, we either rent a car or we take Ramsey's and we just kind of explore on our own. We always do it independently. That way we could take our time and figure things out. When you go to Egypt, if you ever go to Egypt, we highly recommend that you hire a driver and hire a tour guide or someone local there that you know.
And your tour guide will typically hire a driver for you.
Yeah. It's 2 different, like the tour guide is never the driver. There's a driver that makes sure that they pick you up at whatever point you are, and then your tour guide explains to you in whatever language you choose, because you can pick and choose which language, because people from all over the world go. So,
and the reason why we would suggest hiring a person personally, which is inexpensive, is because if you get these group tours in a bus, you're bound to the group, and you've got one tour guide leader yelling to everybody
for like a group of 20
take
people.
your time, get a personal tour guide. We paid what, $30 or $40 for the day?
It ranged anywhere from like $35 US per day.
And then we would get we would always give a $50 tip at the end of the day as well. We paid more in tip than we paid for the actual person.
For the tour, yeah. And that's not including admissions. This is just, you're hiring
You're just having that person with you all
who's an Egyptologist that gives you the history behind it. Plus they know their way around, and they know what to ask for when you go get tickets, because you have to get admission tickets, and like they know all of that stuff. And so it creates less of a language barrier as well.
Yeah, I would say that's an absolute. If you're going to really enjoy your time, go out, find a personal tour guide. They're all over like booking.com, and they're all over the internet.
Expedia, any third party.
Yeah, they're going to be there.
They'll be there.
So they're going to have the knowledge, and they're going to give you the personal attention, and it's so cheap. It really is. It's so cheap.
It's pretty affordable.
To have that person in the know with you everywhere you go, that makes a big difference. Now, there's times where we told Camille we were going to take him to the museum when we went to the museum. But then we looked at the museum and we were like, there's no need for us to take a tour guide. And we planned a video. You know, there are people who said, oh man, you guys are so disrespectful. You went into the museum and you crack jokes. Well,
we find humor in everything.
If you don't like it, don't watch it. So just keep in mind, these are our videos for our lives. And we invite you to watch it if you want to watch it. And if you want to complain, well, you won't be able to. You're gone. And we'll keep making videos and keep having fun in our lives and laughing. So we decided there was no need for a tour guide in the museum.
Right, because there's signs everywhere.
There's signs everywhere.
And then Uber is readily available all of the time. And so Uber rides are really inexpensive as well.
So we decided when we went, we were just going to have fun in the museum and make stuff up.
Yeah. So
that was our whole plan.
When we went to Luxor, anytime you book a flight, it automatically pops up like, hey, you have a 10% coupon or 25% coupon to unlock these deals. And so I was able to get really, really inexpensive deals for tour guides. And for whatever reason, when I booked, is it Nema? Nema.
You'll see George in the videos. George will be like, this woman, this awesome lady,
tour guide. I don't say this
tour guide, because George still can't figure out her name.
I can never remember her name because it's an unusual name.
Very unusual.
Well, anyways, her boss somehow got my first name mixed up with a Susanna. And messaged me and said, and anytime you book something like that, they'll message you on WhatsApp, which is like another app for international communication. And so the message was, hi, Susanna, this is just to confirm that our tour guide will pick you up from the hotel at this day and this time. And I responded back and I said, my name is George. And yes, if someone could please pick us up from the hotel at this time instead of this time. And for whatever reason, he didn't communicate with her that my name was not Susanna. So she knew that my name wasn't Susanna, but she went ahead and called me Susanna anyways, just to be funny.
I finally corrected her after the second day. I was like, her name isn't, she didn't know what to think. I kept calling her George. So a lot of times, some of the jokes, she was so good with our sense of humor. She kept telling us, I love you guys. You guys, she literally saying, I love you guys. I miss you already. I love you. I love you. I love you. I'm usually.
She even got me a souvenir.
She gave George a gift. And it wouldn't have been appropriate because she was Muslim to give me a gift. Like I even asked her after the end of the third day, I was like, oh, can I give you a hug? She's like, I'm sorry, because of my Muslim faith, you can't give me a hug. But so I said, all right, well, Anna Habebek Habibi. And then there were Muslim men yelling at her because she said Habibi. She called me sweet one back to me. She called you Habibi in front of someone, and he like went off on her. And so, but I was there, so we told her we'd take her back to America anyway. But she called you Susanna, and the second day I was like, her name's not Susanna. And I was like, you know what? Just keep calling her Susanna,
and
though.
She's like, okay.
She's like, okay, I'm going to save you in my phone as Susanna. And so I was like, just keep calling her Susanna because this is funny now.
She was going to program my name as Susanna from America.
So that was funny because then we just kept joking about it. And I was like, all right, well, she's Susanna now.
Yeah,
so.
Which she also messaged just to see how we were doing. And she knows that we're back in the States.
And George looks at me. She goes, you know, everybody who watches this is going to think my real name is Susanna. And I went, exactly why I told her to keep calling you Susanna.
So Debbie Vaughn wants to know, are Susanna and Stanley banned from Egypt?
You could probably say it's a close technicality. I almost didn't get back in the United States.
Goodness.
But no, that's Thursday's video. That's all we're going to say about it.
Okay.
That's all we're going to say.
All
I had so many issues in Egypt. It was just insane that I almost didn't make it back in the States.
So Bumpy Guy has a good question. He sent a $5 super chat. Says, welcome home. Thanks for bringing us along. Why can't the tour guides go into the sites?
All right. So that's a good question. Do you want to try and I know the answer. I don't know if you do, if you were listening or not.
So from what I gathered, when Camille was with us, he chose not to go on the sites with us because it's hard.
It's hard work.
It is
in the pyramids.
hard.
It's hard work. And Camille said, I'm not going in there and climbing. You guys
He's been in it 1,000 times. Why would he go? It's a lot of work. And then from my understanding when we were with Susanna is that at one point in time, the tour guides were allowed to go in the sites or in the temples or wherever they take you. And then after COVID, that all changed. So now there's signs everywhere that says, attention, please, tour guides, please do not explain the inside of this.
So I'm going to go another route.
That was the end. It was a little sign that just said, please don't explain the inside of this.
So she told us why. And George, that was a good guess. Fist pump. Good guess.
That's what I gathered is that
okay, that's a good gather. Okay, forget the guess. It was a good gather. The reason is very, very simple. And I think we've shared this enough. The culture as a whole, okay, and I'm being very, very general. And the culture as a whole are very rude. So what we call culturally single file line, you don't cut in front of people, you don't push, you don't shove, you don't touch people, you have personal space, non-existent in the Egyptian culture with the people. It is shove and push and cut and be first and do this, and it's just chaos. It's disorganized chaos. And so the reason why the tour guides aren't allowed to go in anymore is because it's so much chaos and it's so congested. It's very simple. That's all it is. So a lot of people in the comments are going, oh, what are they trying to hide? Of course, I'm teasing that as well as I'm reading it. And I already know why she's not allowed in there, but I'm teasing it with you guys in the video. I'm going, oh, what are they trying to hide? They're not trying to hide anything. It's congestion, and the people are all pushing and shoving, and there's too many people in those areas. So they ask the tour guides just to come out, so people will go in, come out, and other people can go in and come out, and other people can go in and come out. And everything in a group setting turns into a fight and an argument. We show you that in the one video.
There's a lot of hot-tempered people.
It is insanity. Now, it helps me understand Egyptians in my life a whole lot more, if I can say that better, as far as communication style and all of that. But it's not a culture that I could live in. It would be a constant headache for yelling, screaming, fighting, shoving. I couldn't do it. It was temporary. It was great for a temporary experience. They're very aggressive, like Italians. The communication style is very much like Italians, in your face and very, very aggressive. A lot of the countries
overseas, they're just aggressive talkers. It's not just Egypt or Egyptians. That goes with a lot of cultures overseas.
So in our culture, what we would call politeness, it doesn't translate into their culture. It's what we call rudeness. For them, it's normal. Okay, so you have to understand, our culture, we call rudeness, politeness. Their culture, this is normal. So they think nothing of it.
Thanks, Aubrey.
It's just keeping them out. That's all it is, to keep people coming in and out, in and out, and in and out.
Yeah. You want to do the mail?
Not yet.
Okay. Elvis says, what did you and George think about the song recorded about my sister Liz Presley and me?
We have not listened to it yet. We have a million things to catch up on. Not to mention, didn't have any cell service while I was there. So major issue there with no cell service, but we'll get caught up with things. It may take a month, but we'll get caught up with things.
Yeah, we do get a ton of email. So if you sent it a link in an email, we'll catch up. Craig wants to know, can you talk about the food culture? So that's going to be in tomorrow's video. You get a slice of him tasting food, but we did show videos of him trying other foods. And so Jeremy naturally loves ketchup on anything and everything, even his cereal.
Now you're just making stuff up.
Even his pizza.
Yeah, I will dip pizza in ketchup, especially if it's stuffed crust. I'm like, all right, you got cheese, you got bread. The only thing that's missing is ketchup.
For me, I loved it because growing up, my grandma was, what she did for a living was she was a chef, personal chef. And so her cooking was just amazing. So a lot of the dishes that my aunt ordered just took me back to when the first time I ever tried those dishes because my grandma made them. And so for me, it was awesome. But for him, it was a whole new experience. And then him growing up naturally on a bland diet and then tasting an ethnic dish that is filled with flavor and seasoning and stuff was just, it upset his stomach because he's not used to.
We spent the last 3 days with her aunt and constant ethnic food, so Egyptian food. And being home now, we got home on Monday. I almost died. This is no joke. In the flight from Egypt to Germany, I almost soiled my pants.
Yes.
It's so bad. And I'm still having such abdominal issues. It's not because I drank the water. It's solely because of the food.
The seasoning.
It's the seasoning of the food. It has tore my system up.
Because his stomach's not used to digesting that.
Anything like that. And so it still tore my system up to even about 30 minutes before we went live. Explosions happened. It was fireworks. Fireworks. And here we are Wednesday. And we got home Monday morning at 12:30 a.m.
He definitely is a trooper. Like I told her, I was like, you don't have to eat the whole thing. Just try it. If you don't like it, don't eat it. But he didn't want to be rude. And so he ate the whole thing knowing that there was going to be consequences.
So since Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days in a row now, very, very explosive. Yeah. Very, very explosive. And my system can't handle it.
Beverly sent $20, says, thank you for the vacation to Egypt. The last tomb of the workers was so beautiful.
It was.
Speaking, which we agree, Beverly, thank you. Speaking of getting a tour guide, another benefit of that is that they'll tell you which places are worth going to. And so I had told our tour guide that I wanted to see the Valley of the Queens, but she's like, you're going to want to check out the Valley of the Workers. It was less crowded. Oh my gosh. What an awesome experience we got, because we were the only ones there at that point. And the hieroglyphics and the painting, which were over 3,000 years old, were so vivid and so fresh that you wouldn't have seen that at the other temples that we went to.
She said, don't go to the Valley of the Queens. She says it's going to be a waste of your time. She's like, let's go to the Valley of the Workers. She goes, you're going to see better stuff. You're going to get closer and nobody knows about it. Let's go to the places nobody knows about. You're like, all right, we're all in. Let's do it.
Grinder says ketchup rules.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
You brought back ketchup.
Yeah, I have 3 bottles of Farrell's ketchup.
It made it back.
I do for my ketchup collection.
Yes.
Yep.
Someone had asked a really good question. Did we see any Crocs there? Hillary Wilson wants to know. So the Nile was in the back, pretty much in the backyard of the last hotel that we stayed at, and there was a couple there that just kept saying
this couple. I was looking at George. I was like, "Are we that pathetic? Are we that gross?" They're like,
there was like either garbage or shrub, like a bush or something, coming down the Nile like every couple minutes, and every time she would see like a bigger item floating in the Nile, like, oh my god, a crocodile!
And George and I are looking at each other like, oh my goodness.
The crocodiles don't exist in this part of the Nile.
So the Nile, because of the flooding of the Nile, which remember, Egypt as a nation only exists because of the Nile. The Nile is life. Water is life. Wherever there's water, you're going to find people. And because the Nile would flood yearly, all the silt, and what I mean by silt, if you don't understand silt, all the mud, all the fertile dirt, the Nile would flood, and the banks where all you see, all the green, that's where the Nile would flood and bring the dirt on top of the sand. So now you have plantable dirt. And so that was the farmland. That's what made Egypt such a superpower. If you read your Bible, the end of Genesis, Exodus, Egypt was the superpower. It was the nation. It was the advancement in medical and in advancement in architecture, advancement in war and medicine. I mean, Egypt was the place. It was the place.
It was number one.
It was because of the Nile. It was because of agriculture, because of the Nile. Agriculture meant everything for the existence of Egypt. And because of that agriculture, as you see that in the history kept up in the Bible as well and held up in the Bible, is other nations survived because of Egypt's agriculture. So
Alicia,
one of the things they did,
Alicia. She's like, I'll take a screenshot for you. Only one
$1.
dollar.
One of the things they did is back in Aswan, so south in Aswan, they actually put up a dam so that the Nile would not flood anymore.
Yeah.
All the crocodiles are south of the dam. So we were nowhere near any crocodiles that we were going to be able to see or find.
Yeah. So Aswan, again, is south of Luxor. So Aswan down, you'll find crocodiles, but like from Aswan up until the Mediterranean Sea, you will not find a crocodile. Yeah. And I asked our tour guide if they ate crocodile there, because here in the U.S., gator bites is famous, and she said, "No, you'll die."
She's like, "No, you'll die."
Going back to food, Flipping Adventures wants to know: was there any food or even a dessert that you truly liked the taste of without ketchup? That's a good question, and I can answer that question.
Okay.
Do you remember what the dessert was?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the name of the dessert?
Hairy goat balls.
AKA kanafa.
I called it hairy goat balls. But...
It comes with, so the kanafa was, which might be in tomorrow's video. Like they show how.
Oh, you're talking about the pie? I'm talking about the ice cream with the hair on it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't in the video.
Egyptian cotton?
The Egyptian cotton. Well, that's what we called it on film.
Well,
off film.
You had kanafa with the kushari too when you were getting.
Yeah, I had kanafa then too.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was good with the honey on top.
It was better when you were putting the honey on top.
Yeah.
But the first time I had it, we were running and we were getting ready to go to the wedding. And it was just, all right, let's make a clip. So with Danny George, I was like, let's just make a dumb clip really quick.
And he called it cat hair, which really isn't cat hair and cat bones.
So the one that they did, we went to one restaurant and they brought out ice cream and it had like shreds of cotton candy all over it. And I kept joking with the table with the guys and with George that it was hairy goat balls because we were in Egypt with goats. And I said, I'm not eating it. I'm not eating it. I'm not eating it. And they kept laughing. And then finally I dug into it and took a bite. And I was like, oh, this is the best thing ever. So
yeah, it's like a sweet cheese.
It was like, is that what it was? Like a cheese with cotton candy on it? Or it was, I don't know what it was.
Oh, no, you're thinking of when I got McDonald's, because I compared the taste of McDonald's to the McDonald's here in the U.S. And then we went to a restaurant.
That's what I'm talking about.
And ordered dessert.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
So it was white colored cotton candy with like vanilla ice cream in between. It was like a sandwich.
So that was the best dessert that
I've never had that dessert before. The
cotton candy was very hairy, so it was making my throat gag. So it's not like it melted. It was odd. It was a very odd texture and it would make me gag. But then I was like, oh, the ice cream kind of helps it go down. So it needed to be a little bit more liquefied to let it go down. It didn't melt like cotton candy. So it was very weird. It was like you had hair all in your mouth, like, but then the ice cream would go, oh, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
So that was probably
the combination of the two.
That was probably the most unique and memorable dessert. And we were making big jokes about it. Again, things that we didn't film. So there are some things that we film and we try and keep a level of appropriateness. And then there are other things that just between us, we just joke around because we have such big senses of humor and we're goofing around about it.
Crispy One asked a question that I think we've already answered, but I'm sure a lot of viewers haven't seen. Does the ketchup in Egypt taste the same? I personally think, see, for me, I think different waters taste the same. There's like spring water, there's purified water, there's uh like there's different types of waters out there, and for me it tastes different. They all taste different. For him, he didn't think that ketchup tastes different. And then when
Never
we went
taste different ketchup.
when we went to Egypt, he finally tasted.
Remember,
a
I've been
different type
all
of
over the
ketchup.
world. I've literally been all over the globe. And so I've tasted ketchup all over in different countries. And Egypt was the first country that the ketchup tasted different. It was much, much sweeter, much sweeter.
Yeah, it was. Did you like it?
I mean, I was glad that I had it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't prefer it over normal ketchup. And that's probably just because of what I'm used to, what my palate is used to, what my body is used to. So obviously you get into habits. And if I grew up on Egyptian ketchup my entire life, and then I came to the US and I was like, oh, this isn't sweet enough. But I think it was more based off of what I'm just accustomed to and used to.
Oh man, Craig G has a question. He wants to know who actually crop dusted the basket during the hot air balloon ride.
It was bad.
We didn't realize that the basket was that big, but they were able to fit 14 passengers, and that's not including the pilot. And so the basket is divided into like little cubbies.
Yeah, that's the best way to say it. Cubbies. Four people per cubby. So it's tight. And so it could have been anyone. I just know that it wasn't his brand and it wasn't my brand. It's pretty sad. If it was your brand, I would have passed out.
It's pretty sad that I know your brand, even though you've tried Egyptian food. It's still your brand.
It was not us. It was.
Yeah, wasn't us.
It was stank rank. It was rank stank for sure, though. Somebody had the fear farts bad.
David sent $2. Says mail time. He just wants to hear you sing the mail song.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Any more questions?
A lot of people are wondering, when did you get home? I know a lot of you hopped on later.
We answered that question, so you can go back and actually watch that. So,
Mary, a couple people in the chat are saying take a probiotic, that'll help your tummy. So, speaking of probiotic, you've been taking something else.
Metamucil.
Yes. He's been taking that. So
I need it after coming home from Egypt. Do I ever? Do I ever?
And then a couple people in the chat, Jane Lord just asked, will you ever go back to Egypt?
We're actually going to talk about that after mail time and share with you guys how you can be a part of that and have an impact in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
So we will share with that after mail time. So for us to go, oh, let's book a vacation. We're probably never going to book a vacation just to go to Egypt. For us to go, let's make an impact in people's lives and go do something to help people. That's an absolute. And we're going to share some more of that with you later tonight.
Yes. And then Yossi wants to know, why did you not travel to Israel in the end, which we wanted to?
So basically, in a nutshell, multiple things going on. Our goal was to spend 2 weeks in Egypt. Our goal was to spend 2 weeks in Israel.
I did, Marilyn.
And
I got you a little something.
You'll see that. You'll see that in Thursday's video, tomorrow's video. So basically, in a nutshell, there's a lot of things going on in overseas right now with Ukraine, Russia, and United Nations getting involved. So that's an issue, an area of concern. Other areas of concern for us were actually traveling from a Muslim country into Israel. And then other concerns for us were COVID. And so
with testing,
more testing. Being
able to get it back on time.
Every time you go into another country, you have to test and you test and you test and you test, and getting it back in time.
The challenge is they want it 24 hours prior from the moment you land.
So we basically decided that, and we want to go with her aunt as well, because her aunt wants to do an Israel trip. We basically decided when all this mass...
Well, Danny George wants to do it
Danny
as well.
George does too. So when all the mask mandates are gone, the foolishness of all these mask mandates, and I understand some of you may go, oh, Jeremy, how dare you say that? Okay, well, if you don't agree with me, don't agree with me.
Eventually, they're going to go away. It just takes away from the experience when you can't
breathe. You can't breathe. You got people yelling at you all the time.
It's hard
Pull
to
your
make
mask
videos
up.
because our mouths are covered.
We were in Germany in the airport. The stewardess is talking to me. When my chin goes down, it pulls the mask down. And she's yelling at me as I'm responding to her, pull my mask up. And I'm like, are you kidding? You're talking to me. So it's just a complete and total annoyance. You have to have proof of you're vaccinated. You have to have proof that you are COVID negative to even be there. And then they're yelling at you that your mask is falling down as they're asking you questions and you're answering. It just takes away from the entire experience. And in my opinion, and it is my opinion, and the channel name is What the Hales. It's not whoever you are. So if you don't agree with my opinion, don't feel a need to disagree in the comments, because it's not going to go anywhere. It's nonsense. It's complete and total nonsense, in my opinion. And so we're going to wait until all the nonsense is gone, travel is opened all back up, and we don't have to worry about those things.
Shane says they brought you back a mummification, Marilyn.
Yeah, mummification materials, Marilyn. That's what we got for you.
Oh, Yossi lives in Israel, by the way.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
There is a Yossi that I remember, but lived in Canada. So
that
maybe
Canada
another
does
Yossi.
too.
Yeah.
So absolutely want to do the Israel trip. And that was part of the plan, but with all the turmoil going on. And the other part is this trip ended up costing us way more
We ended up
than we
spending
anticipated.
more than we anticipated, right?
Way more than we anticipated.
Well, mainly because if you're a foreigner in the country, they charge you double, sometimes even quadruple, than if you were a citizen.
And I'll share with you why. So here's the economics of Egypt as a whole. Okay, so every country is going to have their own economic system, and one of the major areas of income for Egypt is tourism. Pure and simple, it's tourism. Who doesn't want to see the pyramids? Who doesn't want to see a mummy? You've seen this your whole life on TV. They make movies of it. It's tourism. So the number one income aspect for Egypt, it's exporting petroleum. It's some oil. Okay, so if you go oil, you go, oh, it's Middle East, they must be oil rich. They're not oil rich at all. They have some oil in Egypt. It's not like other countries that are oil rich. Okay, so it'd be like me going, oh, I have a job, or me going, I'm a multimillionaire. They have oil, or they have a job, but they are not oil rich. They are not multimillionaires.
Thanks, Diane. Yes.
So their major income comes from exports, and it's not even oil. Oil is not their largest export. Probably some of you guys can already guess it. It's cotton. Who doesn't know about the quality of Egyptian cotton?
And the sugar cane is well known.
And it's cotton, and it's agriculture. It's sugarcane. And so that's where their main portion of their budget, or the country's budget, comes from textile, from cotton, and from agriculture, sugarcane. And then under that, and some petroleum items. Under that, the major player is tourism. It's tourism. That's where their money comes from. It's tourism. And so when you come in as a tourist, everything is jacked up. The police that are everywhere that you saw, those police, the military police, are there for the tourists. They're there to protect the tourists. Talk to any person who lives in Egypt, anywhere around those tourism places, and they're going to tell you the same thing. They're all there to protect the tourists. So those police were actually there to protect me, not interrogate me, but they continued to interrogate me. But the military police are all there in the tourism areas to protect the tourism industry for Egypt. That's why they're there. Pure and simple. Every single tour guide will tell you that. Every single local will tell you that. It's to protect tourism, because all the areas that were going under terrorist attacks, the rioting in the previous years, all of that, military police are there to protect tourism. That's their money. That's where it comes from. In 2020, the tourism economy just imploded. It died, and they're trying to bring it all back, and they're trying to bring it back stronger than ever. And their plans for the future as a country are all based on tourism. That's where the money is coming from. So plan, if you're going to Egypt, plan appropriately to know that you, as a local, you're not a local, you're going to pay much more to be a tourist, because the bulk of the income for the country comes from tourism, and the country is spending way more in their budget than they actually are bringing in. The last budget I saw, they were spending 20 billion more in their budget. And so those prices keep going up. And one of the things that our tour guide told us, the female tour guide, she kept telling us all income in Egypt has gone down. It's all going down. And she keeps going, Sisi, the president, keeps taking taxes up and up and up and up and up. And after tourism is taxes. That's where Egypt gets their income. So exports of textiles, agriculture, some petroleum items, tourism, and then taxes from the people. And they keep taking taxes up to build more for the rich and taking more from the poor, which creates this huge divide, which ultimately, if you look through history, you look through any country, you look through history always repeats itself. It ends up in revolution. It ends up in civil war. It ends up imploding. So I think it's a dangerous, in my opinion, it's a dangerous, volatile situation that could come to a head sooner rather than later with the economic classes being so separated there and with the extreme poverty. But that's more heady knowledge stuff than any of you ever want to hear from me, because really you don't care. You want to laugh. And that's what we do best. And sometimes I go off on a tangent because I am a nerd.
Just like now.
I'm a nerd.
You need to sleep.
I'm a white nerd.
You need some sleep.
A very tall white nerd.
He needs some sleep.
So if you're going to be a tourist, you're going to pay more.
Yes. Christy wants to know, did y'all get
You're funding
souvenirs?
the economy. They'll find out Thursday.
Yeah, you'll find out tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday.
It
So
is.
I wanted to wait until the end of the trip to get souvenirs, because I knew we were going to get on domestic flights to fly to different cities. So I didn't want to crush it and ruin them. But yes, you will see them tomorrow. Sugarcane, unfortunately, was not one of them.
I wish we would have landed in the sugarcane field.
So our tour guide said that we were going to try some sugarcane, and we just got so busy that we forgot.
Not to mention, we were absolutely and totally exhausted.
We were. It took a lot of energy out of us, not only because of the jet lag, but like we would go visit like 2-3 sites and we'd just be whooped.
and then I would have to edit everything, and then we'd have to try and find internet. So internet on Wednesdays, when we didn't go live on Wednesdays, we had no internet.
Yeah.
And the last 3 days in Egypt, we had no internet whatsoever. We had no Wi-Fi. There was no way we could do anything. So when we went live on the Sundays, it's because we actually had strong enough internet and Wi-Fi to do it. So that's why we decided, well, we'll try and jump on now. Our initial plan was to keep our plan for live streams on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. We just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it became a challenge at times. JK sent $5, says, "You told me you would meet me at the tomb of the fun employed. I'm here." You're going to be waiting a long time, JK.
You're in Egypt. Almost everybody's fun employed. You got to go to the bazaar. Do we have one more question before we get in the mail?
Oh, there's so many. I'm trying. It's hard to read the chat because at times it's funny, and then like to try and talk.
Okay,
and then
I have a
manage
question
the
for
two.
them. Can I ask them a question before we get into the mail?
Thanks, Tammy.
I want to know what your favorite part of the Egypt videos are, with the understanding there is one more video coming out on Thursday.
Yeah, JK says it's very dark in here. Where's your light, JK?
Well, that's the other thing. You have to pay in advance for electricity. Electricity is very expensive in Egypt, and so you pay in advancement, like a pay for phone. So you pay in advance for a month, and then you have to pay again, and you have to pay again. So electricity, you buy it in a block, and then you buy more and you buy more. JK probably didn't buy his electricity.
Rose Blue said, "You're the tallest man in Egypt, Jeremy." You were.
I was in a lot of situations.
We were trying to find other tall Egyptian men, and that was a challenge.
We made a game of it to see how many tall Egyptians we could see.
Yeah, because one of the hotels that we stayed in is attached to the mall, so we got to walk around the mall and people watch, and we saw some that were tall. Danny was just as tall as you.
Yeah.
And then we found a couple, very few. But yeah, Jeremy was like the tallest. So they were all looking at him like the token white guy, the tall token white guy.
The only white guy a lot of the times.
Rose Another comment she made in the chat was that your aunt seems like so much fun.
Oh my goodness. We're going to talk more about her aunt, but I will hands down tell you, I had so much fun with her aunt.
Yeah.
She is just a blast. So funny.
She loves to joke around. Oh my God. She had so many jokes too.
We're
like, how do you even remember all these jokes?
Like I was telling George, I was like, I swear she could be your mom. I was like, because the personalities are just so the same.
Yeah.
I was like, I think your aunt raised you because your personality is your aunt's personality. And we got along and had so much fun laughing and joking around. She got our sense of humor. We got her sense of humor, and we had a ton of fun.
A lot of people in the chat are writing my favorite part was the Valley of the Workers. Definitely worth going to see if you guys make it out to the west bank of the flats. That was in the west bank of not the flats, of the
west
Nile.
of the Nile.
Yeah.
Yep. In Luxor. Absolutely worth seeing.
The balloon ride. A lot of people were saying the balloon ride was beautiful. And did the guy ever figure out like how famous that picture you told him to hold on to?
We goof around like, oh, you got to hold on to that. We're famous, but we goof around. I don't know if he said anything or not, but
they do know the channel name. I think you told
we
daughters.
did. They did want to know the channel.
It was a family.
Name.
It was a husband, wife with two girls, and they asked. They had like a British accent.
We told them they could keep it for $1.
Yeah.
$1 photo. You keep $1.
Shirley says my favorite was the cousin wedding and the workers.
The wedding was a ton of fun. Very much so.
With the fire at the wedding.
The fire. I can't wait to have fire. It's so cold right now in Ohio.
Gail wants to know if you lost weight with all the walking, Jeremy.
No, I put weight on. Actually, I was shocked because I thought I was putting so much weight on. George and I would eat breakfast in the morning, and we would load up on breakfast because we knew we weren't going to have time to eat lunch. And you can't just eat anything and be healthy when you're an American and you're in our culture, and then you go over to Egypt. Your system isn't used to digesting that stuff. So we couldn't just go to a street corner and go, well, I want that, and I want that, and I want that. So we would bulk up on breakfast, which I'm not used to. I hate heavy breakfasts. And then we would bulk up on dinner at night. And I thought for sure, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm putting on so much weight.
There was no time to eat during the day because we were busy.
When I came back, I was the same weight.
Exploring.
I was the same weight. I got back.
Still has that food, baby.
I told her, I said, I got good news and I got bad news. She goes, what's the bad news? I was like, I got diarrhea like crazy. And she goes, all right, what's the good news? I was like, I'm the same weight as I was when we left. I don't know how.
Linda says you're better than National Geographic shows. And then Veronica says, I love watching the crazy traffic. Speaking of the traffic, the one thing that I just could not take was seeing an entire family on a motorcycle, or like 3 men on a motorcycle, or
whole family, kids on the edge of the motorcycle.
Completely illegal here in the United States.
If we did what we saw with kids in Egypt,
oh, your kids would be taken.
Children's Services would be you'd be on your door taking your kids away from you, hands down. Immediately you'd lose your kids.
Autumn says, I love the history about Queen Ketchup.
Ketchup soup.
Queen Hatshepsut, and how she couldn't wait to be a king. That was interesting. And
very
how
interesting.
she wanted her skin to be darker so that it showed like masculinity, and like that was interesting. Queen Hatshepsut. And you kept calling her ketchup soup.
Ketchup soup. It's easier that way. Way easier that way.
Both of our tour guides have a lot of knowledge of what they showed us, and they've both been ironically tour guides for 15 years.
Yeah, both Egyptologists. Our female tour guide, she actually is one of the few that actually went to university, 4 years of college.
Yeah.
Not many people. A large percentage of the population are illiterate in Egypt. They can't read, they can't write, but they obviously can speak. And she went to college 4 years, Egyptologist. And so a lot of people ask how she know all this, how she know it. That's what she went to school for.
Yeah.
That was her college degree.
And that's how she learned her English too.
Was through school.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying Valley of the Workers. I think that between the Valley of the Workers and the hot air balloon ride seems to be a popular one amongst the viewers.
The
$1
being in the pyramids for me, it was just mind blowing. And then probably the hot air balloon.
Especially since we didn't know that we could even go in.
Your dad had me. So her dad told us.
We didn't do any of that research ahead of time.
Her dad told us a story when he was a kid and he was climbing on the pyramids and somebody said, "Hey, I'm going to shoot you if you don't get off."
Back then, it wasn't allowed. It was a policeman.
So we thought for sure, hands down, there's no way we're even going to be able to touch one. We'll be lucky if we get close to them. Not only did we get close, we touched them, we climbed on them, we were in them.
Yeah,
we were in them.
We were crawling around it.
And so going into that, thinking we wouldn't even be able to touch one, and yet we were inside them. It just is mind blowing. And then the hot air balloon ride was absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, and so exhausted, so tired, and yet your eyes are open. And like after that we went to go see the Valley of the Workers. You saw videos out of actual order, and there was a reason for that, how we did that, but it doesn't matter what the reason is, just we did it. So we went to go see the Valley of the Workers after that. And then our tour guide, she said, "Do you want to do anything else?" Because we book her for the day. And George and I both go, "Yeah, we want to go to sleep.
We want to go back to the hotel.
We want to go back to the hotel." Like I could not keep my eyes open anymore. It was like 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
It was like, I can't do it.
Well, that day we got up at we had to meet our tour guide for the hot air balloon at 4:30 in the morning. So we had to be in the hotel lobby. The nice thing is when you book these excursions, they pick you up from wherever location or hotel that you're at.
So when George says we had to be up, George had to be up. I was up.
He was
video editing, working on the business. So the businesses have to keep going. I'm working nonstop on the business. I had to get up to release the video at a certain time, so it'd be released at a certain time. Then we got up for Bible study. And that didn't even happen. So I set the alarm.
We missed one.
Bible study was at 2 a.m. And I was like, I said, "All right, so you ready?" She goes, "I ain't getting on there." And I'm like
we have to be up at 4:30.
She's like, "We got to be up at 3:30. She's like, "I have the alarm set for 3:30. I'm like,
"Oh yeah,
all right." And then it was no sleep. It was no sleep. And that's part of the life of what we do with YouTube and sharing the videos with you. It may look easy as you sit down and you watch a 30-minute or even an hour video. It is so much hard work. And so it takes a lot of commitment and a lot of dedication.
Yeah.
And even that, I was rewatching one of the videos today. We were in the Valleys of the King, and I watched it. I was like, this is so poor. This is so like, I was watching. I was like, I should have done something. I should have done this. I should have done this. It was so deprived. No, it's just even videoing it. There's so many people, you can't hear anything because the quality of the sound is bad because there's so many people there. We should have went at 6 a.m. All things like that. I look back and I went, man, this just it didn't.
You almost have to do voiceovers over everything because it's so loud.
And then voicervers don't sound good on video.
Right. And you have to have the right editing app and certain microphones for it to equalize, like an equalizer. Flipping Adventure sent $10. She says, "I have a feeling there are going to be new hieroglyphics found in 100 years telling the story of a beautiful Egyptian queen and some tall nerdy guy searching for ketchup." Speaking of which, every day they're discovering more and more temples, pyramids, and artifacts, and it's just mind-blowing.
It really is.
So when Camille told us that they've discovered there's over 120 pyramids, that was mind-blowing to us because we only hear about the Great Pyramids, right? The ones that have hit the ancient wonders of the world, and not realizing that they're continuing to discover more and more. And it doesn't stop there. When we were in Luxor, they found 2 pristine statues that they recently found.
Yep.
That they put out in the temple that were underground.
They were underground, pulled them up and put them outside of the temple. It's just mind blowing.
Yeah.
Absolutely mind blowing.
I want to say the tombs of the worker are probably wins of what the viewers favorite.
That was their favorite, which was nice because we could actually video it and we were there alone. It's like a private tour. It was just us there. It's so much easier when it's a private tour. That's why if anybody's going to make a trip to Egypt, and I know a lot of you said you were, always message us whatthehales@yahoo.com. We'll get you in contact with our actual guides.
Oh yeah.
Get a private guide.
It's less expensive if you get a private guide and get your own personal driver versus booking with a group or through the hotel.
I would stay away from the group setting. But we're also YouTubers.
That's just a personal preference for us.
And we wanted to video everything. I mean, there's video that we have you'll never see. So there's video that we took for YouTube, and then there's video that we took for us. And that's pretty much the way it is in our life anyway. There's always video that we have that you'll never see. And there's so many jokes between her and I. And I'll be editing and I'll wake her up and I'm like, can I keep this joke in? And we'll look at each other and start cracking up and both shake our head. No. And I'm like, all right, that one hit the cutting, and so many jokes that I had to cut out, but we'll have them forever. So
Belinda asked a good question. She said, why is it illegal to tip the guides? So it's not illegal to tip the guides. It's illegal to tip
the workers and the police.
In the employees in the police and security there at the tourist attractions. Reason being is because you're paying an admission price. So that's like going to Cedar Point. You're paying your admission price, or to a museum, and then you're tipping the workers there.
So think of it this way. If you are running a country and one of your main streams of income is tourism, and when your tourists come in and every time they go to a place, people are begging for more money. I mean, the people are literally putting their hand out and they know the word tip and they're going tip, 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 tip. That is the biggest turnoff in the world. Now, it's very easy for one person to go, what's it matter? You have so much money. You should tip them. Okay, well, you're being asked to tip 1,000 people a day. If I tipped every person in Egypt, I'd have no money. So like I said to George, I was like, I wonder if the people who are getting tips are actually tipping everybody else as well. And everybody's just passing tips around. So, I
don't think they realize how often you're being asked.
It's insane.
And it all adds
insane.
Up. It adds
and so
up.
A person can go, oh man, stop being rude. Just tip them. You have the money. Okay, well, I have the money for one person. I might have the money for two people. I don't have the money to tip everybody in Egypt. And so if you tip one and then you tip another and you tip another, it is an onslaught, a complete and total onslaught of begging. And it is an annoyance is what it is. Now you can go, oh, Jeremy, you're being rude. You could go, Jeremy, you're being inconsiderate. One person asking and doing something for one person is one thing. And if it's something close to your heart and you want to do that for that person. But when it's when it's everybody that's around you.
Well, Don says it's a constant hounding.
It's a constant begging.
So it's like,
and so if you're a country
100 times at every site.
If you're a country and you're going, my mainstream of income, one of my biggest mainstreams of income is tourism, and all of my employees and all my security guards are begging for tips, what's that going to do to tourism? It's going to decrease tourism, which is going to decrease income into the country. That's why it's illegal. You want it to be attractive, not distracted. You want people to keep coming. You don't want to turn people away. And that's a huge turnoff. For us here, we're not allowed to accept tips in the US. Like all the jobs that I've ever had, I've had people try to give me gifts and we were never allowed to accept those things because it's part of our job. And we show you little slices of what that was like. If you watch tomorrow's video, and you actually watch it, you're going to hear people say, oh, my friend. You're going to say, you're going to hear people in the background, excuse me. Every person we walk by is begging us for money, and we're ignoring them. If you're listening in the background in the bazaar, every person is begging for money one way or another, but we're ignoring them and just keep walking and filming. So if you actually listen, you're going to hear it. But if you're not, like your aunt said, she's like, don't even make eye contact with the people. She's like, do not make eye contact with the Egyptians because they will not take no. They are aggressive. They will grab you, put things in your hand, put things in your pocket. You'll see tomorrow she's got stuff in her pocket. It was put in her pocket. They will not take no. It's
kind of awkward and it makes it very uncomfortable. Tea Time for Me sent $10, says you work very hard. The videos came out fantastic. And I personally want to thank you for the behind the scenes look of Egypt. I loved everything about the whole experience. Oh, thank you. So fantastic was a common word there because they don't use words like awesome or cool.
They're not up to speed on current lingo.
So fantastic.
But that's okay. I'm not up to speed on current Arabic either. Yeah, fantastic we kept hearing. It's fantastic.
Another thing that they say is I love you and I miss you already.
I miss you already. I love you. I miss you already. I don't think they know what it actually means. Like, all right. I like you as a friend too.
It translate like that to them.
We just friend zone them really quick.
Yeah. Julia says it's the same way in Mexico. They will not take no for an answer. It was truly an experience for us, Audrey says. Someone in the chat earlier said, when you licked the pyramid, that was so funny. So
Still
speaking of
taste
the
it.
foods of Egypt.
That might be why my digestive system is all screwed up.
Oh, man. You ready to do the mail?
Yeah, you ready to get
We
into
have a ton of mail to go through.
All right, let's hit mail, and then we got more to talk about Egypt. So we got time tonight. We're not hurting for time or anything.
Okay.
So we got time, and we got a lot of mail back here too.
So much. It's piled up. It's all the way up here. Adventurer's Life says, make sure to say what the hell's no tip. $1. Thank you, Carol.
We got mail. Oh, by the way, we did run out of money, and we were heavy tipping everybody for everything. We tipped even to get toilet paper to use a bathroom. They'll hold back. People will go in a public restroom and hold the toilet paper back just to make you tip them.
Yeah,
so
at the tourist attraction.
Everything.
Not at the hotel or like at restaurants.
So we ran out of money. That's another reason why we came back. We had no more cash.
Yes. I ran out of medication.
We ran out of medication. We ran out of money. We didn't think we were going to spend as much as we did. We were not anticipating having to tip the entire nation. Yeah, there's just it was an experience. It was an experience.
Sure. We'll know for the next time.
But we're going to tell you about going back. All right, I guess I'm getting us started here. All right, let's see. You starting or am I starting?
This package came directly from Amazon.
I like it already. It goes with this one.
Okay, this note says, enjoy your gift from Jean Tut.
Jean Tut.
Tut or Tut?
Let's go with Tut since we just got back from Egypt.
Nice.
But
is that one of those backpacks?
This is a backpack, and it's not for you and me.
It's not?
It's not. I'm sorry, it's not. That is a water backpack. This is for Christian and Patience.
Oh.
Look at that. Matchies.
They do like to hike a lot.
They do.
This will be perfect for their
They do like to hike a lot.
They like to hawk too.
So, yeah,
so
you got
for
two of them.
Patience and Christian, you use hiking, biking, motorcycling. These are great for cruises as well. And you will save big time. Fill 3/4 ice to make it last longer. Oh, good idea.
Good idea. These would have been perfect in Egypt. I wonder if TSA will take them off of our back. We'll just say, no, it's our carry-on. It's our carry-on. Thank you so much.
Let's give them this note with it.
Okay.
We'll keep those notes together so they know who it's from.
Okay. I might give it to them tomorrow in their HR meeting. Depends on what happened while we were gone.
Depending on how they answer the questions.
Yeah. All right. I've got one here.
Okay.
Let's see. This looks like it is
from... I see another license plate.
This is from Lisa. Desert Dragon Works.
Nice.
So Lisa said, "Hi guys, I'm sending some Arizona plates for the ranch as well as a couple of my Christmas spiders for you to hang. Sending big hugs along with them." She's so creative.
Love it.
Much love, Lisa. Desert Dragon Works. All right, let's see what we have here. We got Arizona and Birdie. And then this must be the spiders. Check that out. I told you.
She's so artsy craftsy.
Look how artsy she is. Thank you so much, Lisa. She is very, 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 very artistic.
Yes.
And she makes a ton of original creations. She does such good stuff.
Love it.
Really
Be sure to check out her website. This one came directly from Amazon as well. It says peace from Jackie P.
Jackie P said peace.
This popcorn seasoning? Oh my gosh.
I know what you're getting tonight.
We were just talking about the aged cheddar that we like to sprinkle on our
We're
popcorn.
going full ketchup now.
You want to try ketchup?
Looks like we're going to have to.
I guess we're going to have ketchup for with our popcorn tonight. We'll let you know how it is, Jackie.
This is from Lynn in Oregon. She sent, she's from Oregon, but she sent
California.
Ellen Chops. So that one's from California. Jeremy and George, this was my plate for my car for many years. Stands for Lynn Chops because I never stopped talking. So sounds like somebody else.
That's definitely going to the ranch.
All right. Thank you so much, Lynn Chops. Keep telling everybody about What the Hales.
We thought we would have enough plates to cover the entire existing house there, but we ran out of plates. So if you guys got plates laying around, you want to get rid of them, send them our way.
I got one ready already. Jeremy, I saw this and I thought of you. Happy 2020. Scott from Tucson, Arizona. P.S. Hi, George.
Hi.
Catching up with Jesus. Thank you so much.
The next letter is from Rebecca Norris from Clearwater, Florida, another Floridian, and says, "Attention, George. Ooh, some money.
I bet you it's more than just
shiny money.
It's probably a little something more special than just money."
Oh my goodness.
I got my guess.
I love them. They're colored monies.
They're probably Elvis monies. Is what they are.
I love it. Thank you so much.
The Barrett family in California sent a little something here. Well, bam!
What's that?
Well, I'm about to find out once I read it. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see what we have here. It says, George and Jeremy, we recently returned home from visiting Denise's family in the UK. We showed her sister some of your videos, and she fell in love with the idea of adding something from the UK to your Florida ranch home. The enclosed license plate is from her caravan camping trailer. It's unique that it's slightly different from the auto license plates. She'll be thrilled to see it someday on your Florida ranch. All the best, Jeff and Denise Barrett. And Stephanie. Thank you so much, guys. I asked George if we could go down to the ranch, if we could fly down tomorrow because I'm cold.
Yeah, I said absolutely.
She said we could.
I said you're the man.
You
make the plan.
She never says that.
You're the man with the plan. You're responsible for scheduling the next 3 trips.
She never ever says that.
I just said it.
You said it now.
But I just said it.
But you were cranky 30 seconds before we went live because you were sleeping, and then you were happy once we went live. So there's a difference.
You're cranky now, and you're wide awake.
I have gas. Sleep. I have internal issues from falafels and for full.
What are you afraid of?
Pooping my pants.
You have fear farts because you're afraid of pooping your pants?
There's some Egyptian food
for me. You want to go next?
I guess I am going next. All right. Thinking of you says, Dear Jeremy, I heard on one of your channels that you collect Bibles. So please accept a Welsh Bible. It's over 100 years old.
Oh, wow.
It's not in perfect shape, but any of us would love that age. Congratulations to you and George on your engagement. Wishing you both a speedy recovery after your operation and treatment. Enjoy Egypt. It's a very amazing place. Love, Linda. Check this out. A Welsh Bible, 100-year-old.
She found that. That'll go right next to your Bible collection.
Yep. So thank you so much, Linda. This will go in the Bible collection. I love old Bibles. I love the Bible. So this will go down right by the entrance in the living room. This will go in the new house too. So I'll have a shelf in the new house for the old Bibles.
We'll have a religious section.
Which we get the keys to the new house March 11th. And as she mentioned surgery, you have surgery March 9th. Big day, March 9th on surgery. As that comes up, keep in mind that things on the channel may not be consistent because our real lives away from the channel are way more important than making videos.
I've got a letter here from Deborah Strad, all the way from Texas. Says, Jeremy and George, I have been blessed in so many ways watching you regift the love. You have helped so many in need, and you have made their lives better for having you in theirs.
We're going to share with you some ways you can do that in Egypt.
She's been watching over 2 years, and there's been times that George I've lifted her heart and take the sadness out. Aw, that makes that like warms my heart to hear that I've impacted someone's life, because it's like, how can I impact anyone's
sure
life?
That's not heartburn? just making sure.
Well, let's ask Deborah,
because you do have a lot of
I do have
acid reflux issues.
Says we live in a small town of Burleson, Texas, and actually have lived in the area all 67 years of her life. Has 2 girls and a boy and 8 granddaughters. My goodness, 1 grandson, and continue to do so. Please keep up what you're doing. Continue to pray for your health and be blessed. Thank you
Very
so
cool.
much.
This is from David in Georgia. And there you go. It's a Stryker CD. Do you know who Stryker is?
Nice. I may be familiar with some of their songs.
Stryker
I have
is
to hear it.
One of the first Christian bands ever. Heavy metal.
I have to hear some of the songs.
George and Jeremy, hope this finds you in good health and spirits. Jeremy, you said all music. You said all music. Well, here is a band that brought me back from the brink of being lost forever. It's a brand new. I just opened it because George doesn't like to open things like Monopoly. Yes, they're both for me. I'd like to say that you two are the image of my wife and me, because how you get along. And we've been doing so for 20 years now. I would never trade in any of them years. I can see you and George have found your life partners. Like the Lord said, what I've brought together, let no man break it apart. Oh, yeah. When are we going to see the coin pusher battle between you two and the Wonder Twins? Love you guys, your brother in Christ, David Braden. The CDs for both of you. Page 2. And it does have some messages in the song. It's Stryker. It's a Christian band. It's a Christian rock band. So very, very cool. This is back from, I'm going to say 80s. Stryker came out in the 80s. This is called
Awesome.
To Hell with the Devil or To Hales with the Devil, one or the other.
That's a good one.
Thank you so much.
All right. The next one is from P. McLeland from, what's NS? North NS?
Nova Scotia.
Oh, Canada.
Nova Scotia.
Canada.
Like us when we're in Egypt. We're from Canada. By the way, a lot of people said, why did your guide tell you to say you're from Canada? The reason is because the police are there.
Little one. This must be for a trailer or camper.
The police are there to protect the tourists. If we told them we were from America, the police would have been with us. The police, yes, they would have wanted tips. The police would have escorted us everywhere because we were from America. So that way we wouldn't have been kidnapped or anything else. And Camille just said it's just so much easier
to just
say you're from Canada
so
because
we went along with it.
So we went along with it, so we didn't have a police escort everywhere.
But
we
that
went.
Wouldn't have changed the price of admission or any tourist attraction.
Just would have been
if you're a foreigner,
police escorted us everywhere to keep us protected.
Phil and Barb McLeland send a letter and says, "We live in Nova Scotia and faithfully watch you. Heard you were in need of more license plate and noticed that you didn't have any from Nova Scotia.
Now we do, eh?
Hope you guys are doing well. Say hi to Patience and Christian. Congratulations to all 4 of you getting engaged. If you ever make it to Nova Scotia, feel free to look us up."
When are we going to Nova Scotia?
You know, we were going to take a trip to Alaska, which you have to go through Canada to get to. And then we were also going to go visit another YouTube channel, but then that just kind of fell to the wayside because it got so busy. We
get so busy that meeting YouTube channels now is well, and we've learned a lot of people on YouTube are people we don't want to go and meet. So we kind of we've learned protect the business, protect yourselves from people that create drama. So we're going soon, right? To Nova Scotia?
Nova Scotia.
All right. So this is from Wanda Davis in Nova Scotia as well. Canada. Speaking of Canada, look at this. We should have wore these when we were in Egypt. And look, she got us Canada sleeves. That would have been awesome. And another Nova Scotia plate.
How random.
This would have been funny to actually wear when we were in Egypt.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. What does Wanda say? Dear What the Hales, hello, George, Patience, Christian, and Jeremy. Hope this finds you all well. Sending hugs and kisses for George along with prayers. There's a few gifts for you and George and Christian and Patience. Love Patience. She's so adorable. Love her laugh. Been watching the videos for a while now, both on Facebook and YouTube. Love the relationship between you and George.
Aww.
We're in a relationship? Huh. Cheers. All right. The plate is Peggy Cove Lighthouse from Nova Scotia, Canada. The keychains are for you and George, and the arm sleeve tattoos are for Christian and Patience. Okay, we can't wear those in Egypt when we go back. There's 2 in each. Love watching all the videos. Looking forward to the brand new ones. Would love to have an autographed photo of all of you in the photo. I know you're extremely busy and would love to do a live video call from you and George. Unfortunately, Wanda, we don't do phone calls. We are very, very protective of our phone numbers.
A lot of people have requested, like when we do our giveaways after our auctions, they'll say, okay, don't sign the free giveaway, but I would love for you to sign a photo of you two, to autograph a photo. And that's probably something that I'm going to look into. I do want to get a printer that prints out like 8x10 photos. So maybe that's something that'll be part of our New Year's resolution.
We've never done it yet.
Where we could do that.
It just seems weird printing out photos of ourselves to give to other people.
Let's do like a family portrait of me, you, Patience, and Christian. We'll do different poses.
We do selfies with the Egyptian kids at the pyramids. Surah?
This next gift is from Marlene. I think it's Marlene Sailor from Douglas, Georgia. Says, "Dear Jeremy and George, I came across this book in a stack of old books and thought about
Oh my goodness.
Enjoy your videos. Take care. Wait till you see this book."
Oh my goodness. Can you believe this book?
Is that, what year was this book published?
Let me see.
I want to know.
Let me see.
And
Let
which
me check
Otter
here.
Creek are they referring to in
Published
this book?
in 2021.
What?
Yeah.
Did you say 2021?
1 year ago, there was a young, handsome, good-looking, full-headed of hair man named Jeremy.
You mean tall, white, nerdy
with
guy?
a Asian woman named George. Yeah, I don't understand that either, but just go with it. They bought a piece of property in a little place called Otter Creek, and then they got some trouble. There you go. Trouble at Otter Creek. That was page 1. There's pictures in here too. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
Do we know if that's Otter Creek, Florida, or?
I'll read it to you tonight at bedtime and we'll find
stories.
out. This
right.
is from
We'll keep you guys posted.
Jamie in Arizona. And let's see. You can go ahead and pull some of those things out. A lot of
people in the chat are saying we would love a picture of you for. And then JK's like, be careful with these photos.
I know what I'm going to show them a picture of.
Oh, another.
This is the picture you're going to get.
Oh, gosh. Why do you have to show them your feet?
I'm just going to show them my foot.
Why do you always do that?
It's better than looking at my face.
You want them to smell your feet through smell-o-vision?
Oh, my goodness. You love smelling my feet. Don't even start. All right. To what?
Why would you say that on camera?
Because it's true. To what the Hales? To what the Hales? Happy Valentine's Day. Sorry, some of these 2021 holiday Christmas gifts are late. Apparently, there's Christmas gifts in there too.
It's Christmas somewhere.
And Valentine's Day.
Just like it's 5 o'clock somewhere, it's Christmas somewhere.
And let's be friends. All right, dear What the Hales, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I love your YouTube videos. I'm a super fan. I'm sending some gifts that I handmade, except the Elvis items. I even made my own replica of doves. All the beads are handmade. Small bracelets for Patience, necklace for George, reindeer for Christian. Man, there's a little something in there for everybody.
Did you know that there's a Where's Elvis, like Where's Waldo book?
I do now. Look at that, handmade. I do now.
Nice. This is like a fun little mystery box. The Friendship Dove from Home Alone 2.
Oh, she probably made that. I bet you she made that. And then there's the necklace in there too. Yep, I bet you she made that.
Nice, nice.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for the $5 super chat. There's more coming on the Egypt trip, and we're going to talk more about Egypt
stuff in here.
Right after. We've got 2 more packages here. We're going to talk more about Egypt. We got something big to share with you guys.
Look at all that. Oh,
there's a whole bunch.
There's a photo.
This says Happy Valentine's Day.
It's
there's a whole bunch of goodies
a little
in here.
sign. Here, I'll give you that.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, this one is from, good thing I found my pants tonight. This is from Crystal in Indiana. And I'll give this to you if you want to go ahead and read. Or do you want me to read? I'll read.
Sure.
I'll read. George always has me read because I can make up words faster because we all know I can't read. Dear Jeremy and George, I'm disabled and your videos help me get through the day since I mainly stay in the winter months. All of you are so funny. You guys keep me laughing. Thank you. You know what? We love it when people actually get our sense of humor and appreciate it. We like it most that
Love
we
it.
both make each other laugh. And I've been very clear that the reason why I fell in love with George isn't because she's beautiful. I fell in love with her because she made me laugh so much. It was her sense of humor. You guys just keep me laughing.
Of humor.
Sorry for my handwriting. No problem there. Not at all, Crystal. It's okay. I can read it. The Elvis salt and pepper shaker and the mug were my mom's. I lost her in May. It'll be 2 years. I would love for George to put them in her collection, please. Yes. You guys are going to see a huge Elvis collection on display once we get into the new house. I couldn't leave you out, Jeremy, so I found a Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for you. Thank you so much. She goes, I know you like turtles. Wait until they see tomorrow's video with the turtle clip with your aunt. Thank you for being so kind, compassionate, and sincere. The latest videos from the ranch were so hilarious. You had me rolling with laughter. Be safe. Have lots of fun on your next adventure. Love you both. Crystal. Congrats on the engagement.
Thank you. Thank you.
We've got one more package. No, we have 2 more packages. All right, I'm going to move this huge package aside. I'm going to save that for last. But there's another. Whoa, that one.
I got it.
Okay. This one's from Charlotte.
It's
in
Washington. A chewy box.
This one's from Charlotte. This one's a big one too. So we do have 2 more.
Oh, it's a big boy.
Let's see. To What the Hales from Charlotte, Washington. I'll read this. Dear Jeremy, George, Christian, and Patience, I watch your videos faithfully and I've come to learn all about you guys. I hope you all enjoy what I sent. I'm so sorry about the mix-ups of the pictures. I know you're not a Broncos fan. You're a Browns fan.
Right, so she sent us the Broncos, and I sent it.
Oh, we
back
sent
to
it
her.
back.
So
yeah.
here's the Browns.
She said you'll find the correct picture in the box. Congratulations on both engagements.
Aww.
I wish you the very best in health and life and what's to come your way. Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, I'm with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my right hand. Sincerely, Charlotte. Thank you so much, Charlotte. Oh my goodness. There's T-shirts for everybody in here. Look at that. Yeah, T-shirts. I gotta see this.
Here's
Let me
yours.
see this. Oh, I got a T-shirt here, right?
Uh-oh.
Look at that. Jiggle wiggle weeble wobble. Ah!
Who's that for?
That's for me. I love a little jiggle wiggle weeble wobble.
Okay.
Can you say jiggle wiggle weeble wobble?
This is for Patience.
Can you say jiggle wiggle weeble wobble?
5 times fast.
Jiggle wiggle weeble wobble. Jiggle wiggle weeble wobble. Jiggle wiggle weeble wobble. Jiggle wiggle weeble wobble. Jiggle wiggle weeble wobble.
You.
All right. Wow. Wow. Wow.
And then this one's for me.
There's all kinds of stuff in here. There's more.
Wow.
There's another thing right here for you. There's a ton of T-shirts. There's stuff in here for everybody.
Trick Shot Queen, and then it says George on the back.
Let's see. I'm gonna open this one for you. See what we got here.
An Elvis T-shirt.
By
the way, all of you that have sent T-shirts.
She put chalk in there for Patience to eat.
We might want to cut that habit for her for 2022.
That might be a
resolution. That going to be something we'll discuss tomorrow during the
That might be part of the HR meeting.
Everyone that has sent me a T-shirt, I have a collection of them. Elvis made me do it.
She sent shells for the shelling tree for you, George.
Nice. We definitely need more shells.
More shells. Beautiful shells.
Who's this for? Christian.
That's for Christian.
He's the Trick Shot King.
There's a whole.
And then this is for Patience. Trick Shot Princess.
There's a whole box in here for Christian. Should I open it or should I just give it to Christian?
If you want to be nosy.
I mean, we might as well. I mean, she sent it, right? Charlotte sent it. We might as well see what we got here for Christian. Let's see what. Oh, my goodness.
What?
An entire case of Heinz barbecue sauce.
Is that his favorite?
He loves his barbecue sauce. It's an entire case of barbecue sauce for Christian. Wow. He's going to love that. He better not have been doing stuff he wasn't supposed to do while we were away, or he'd never get his barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce for days.
Okay, we got one more box. Then we're going to talk about Egypt. We got something big to share with you guys about Egypt, okay? Bigger than this box we're about to open. So this box actually comes from Pallet Liquidator. So what they do is they put all Amazon returns in a box, and you can buy a mystery box. So they reached out to us. They said, hey, can we buy a box or can we send you a box? We said, sure, you can send us a box. and we're going to look and see what's inside of it for the first time ever. It's ReStorage wholesale, and it's all brand new items. None of this stuff is open or returns. It's all brand new stuff. And we're going to share with you, if you ever want to get a mystery box like this, because they sent it to us, we're going to give you the opportunity. You can do it as well. So I'm going to put it in the chat right now. This is the website. You get a code, What the Hales, if you want to receive $10 for signing up and 20% off the order on the website. Typical box like this would cost $125 with over $300 of brand new items in it. And with all of the discounts, you should be able to get it for about, I think it cut it off. It comes to roughly about $92.
Oh, it's split it up into two.
All right. So it's a giant box. We don't know what's inside. They sent it to us as a gift. We are going to auction the stuff off. And so if you see something,
speaking of
we're not speaking of it yet. So we're going to show what's inside here. We're not speaking of auctions yet. We're going to show what's inside here. We have a giant, I don't know, something for George.
Pillow.
You think it's a pillow?
Yeah.
We got super bubble machine.
Oh, it could be actually a dog bed.
That's where I'm sleeping tonight, right there. That's where George is going to make me sleep.
I think it's a dog bed.
Okay. We've got
a bubble mower.
We got a gaming headset right there. So this is a mystery box. We have no idea what's in there. We've got quick cut hair clippers. You could use that for your armpits. Do you want that for your armpits? You want that? Whoa! George?
Yes.
Do you want to auction this off or do you want to keep it?
I might want to keep that.
All right, here, you set that aside and you keep that. Oh, I already know where this is going. Okay, we're gonna share more tonight about this.
What is that?
This is a book bag. Oh. We're gonna share about book bags tonight for Egypt. So I'm gonna set that aside because we know where that's going. We've got.
I think you're gonna need this for your hairy back.
I thought you would need that for your hairy armpits. We got vintage antique Edison style bulbs in here.
Nice.
Okay. We've got the Ridge wallet. These are expensive wallets. The iRidge, the Ridge wallet. Carry less, live more.
These are some hanging shelves. You could probably put it in the shower.
Aluminum wallet. Double side LED makeup mirror. There you go, right there. Okay.
Here's a driving video recorder. It's a car camera.
Here is, holy cow, an HD NRV security camera system. It's a whole system right there. Hey now. New warehouse? What do you think? New warehouse? New house?
Or new house.
Because we'll have to put one at the new warehouse and
those are
the new
wireless.
house.
Yeah.
Here is, oh my goodness, I cannot believe this. All right, George, you're probably going to want this too, I'm guessing.
What is that?
It's a baby camera.
Yes.
Might as well just set that aside. Okay. This is a random cardboard box with something in it for sure.
Here's one of those virtual reality headsets. Pretty sure it's in the box. It feels like it's in there. Yep, it's in there.
I tried to karate chop it. It didn't work.
Voodoo chop. Voodoo chop.
Nope, didn't work. There's something in here. There's definitely something in here. What's that?
This is to help you lose your food, baby, from all that Egyptian food you ate.
Baby.
You see that 6-pack right there?
I got an 8-pack.
That is not the goal for you. Okay?
I got a 2-liter. What would you prefer? A 6-pack or a 2-liter?
I do not want a 6-pack.
I
like the dad bod.
I thought bigger was better. I thought size mattered.
Yeah, that's why I like the dad bod.
That's why
dad bods are in.
That's why 2 liters will always be better than 6-packs. You get more for your money. I mean, that's just the reality of it. So lots of cool stuff in here.
That is.
That's probably where I'll end up sleeping. And even stuff that you're already going, all right, I'm keeping that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Well, considering they sent it to us as a gift, you can do whatever you want with it.
We're grown.
Why wouldn't you want to keep it as a gift, right? Mm-hmm. And then you can auction that stuff off later. But one of the cool things is, check that out.
The book bag, the little
book
monkey.
Bag.
That is the cutest little book bag.
So this is a great segue for we're going to talk about Egypt a little bit more. And the book bag here, actually, I didn't know that was going to be in there. We had no clue. So one of the things that was one of the greatest joys of being in Egypt was hanging out with your aunt.
Yeah.
And they're going to see more of your aunt's personality and sense of humor in tomorrow's video for sure.
Yes.
Right? So she had us cracking up like crazy.
The whole time we hung out with her.
Oh, she had us cracking up like crazy.
We hung out with her a short amount of time, but it was fun.
The last 3 days we spent with family, with her family and with her aunt. And she spoiled us, took us all over Egypt. And you're going to see exactly where we went, what we did. And she made me try all kinds of food. And she told us about one of the passions of her heart. And you guys know that we have many passions of our heart and areas where we give. So whether it be restoring the love, we still, 2 years in the making now, we have gifted $143,000 so far to a viewer of What the Hales. And we will share with you, Lord willing, this is an almost 2 year in the making video.
Yeah.
This summer, that
which we tell you,
amazing
a lot of our
ReStorage
videos
of the love
are pre-recorded, and some take days, some take weeks, some take months, some take years. And this is a perfect example of this video taking years to make.
A long time to tell the actual story. And so
says Aunt Kamilia George.
It was Aunt Kamilia George, which then George was like yesterday, she's like, I'm surprised you didn't start calling her Aunt Kamilia George because of Egypt, camels, the whole deal. But she started, we had all the funny times and laughing, and she was sharing with us one of the passions of her heart that God placed on her heart, and really is for the poverty of Egypt, for the kids in poverty. And I kind of shared a little bit tonight already about the social and the economic differences in Egypt, and how tourism is such a huge deal for income for the country, and how there really is no middle class. There is the rich, and then there is the poor, and the poor are upwards of 65% in the country, and they live off of almost, roughly in our terms, $2 a day. Okay. And so poverty is a major, major issue. And most of these people have some kind of side hustle, selling on the streets that's not government sanctioned, and so that they can make it day to day. And really the people that suffer the most, and you'll even see tomorrow's video, you're going to see a child literally stuffing stuff in George's pockets in an attempt to get money. Okay. And her heart is for the Egyptian children. And so one of the things that she did, and I'm going to show you some pictures and even video, is of her own self with one of the local churches in Egypt. And I got to say, that was one of the biggest blessings. You'll see more of Abuna, which Abuna means our father pastor. We got to meet Abuna. I never in a million years thought I was going to meet a Christian pastor in Egypt. And yet, what a blessing to be able to share our stories of getting saved, accepting Jesus Christ as a personal savior, dedicating our lives towards the Lord, and him being a pastor, and his passion for the people, his passion to work with and reach out to the poor. And then Aunt Kamilia George also having a passion on her heart to reach the children. And the way that she has done that is with book bags. Right. And so she was telling us, you want to tell some of the things that she's done in the past?
Well, one of the reasons why she's so passionate with helping children, they're not just your typical children, they're orphan children, because my mom and her sister and her siblings, they grew up in orphanages as well.
Due to poverty.
And so what she wanted to do to give back, because it's relatable to her, was to be able to provide backpacks with school supplies in them for those children. And just what made it so rewarding for her is being able to see the smile on their faces, because that's something that, their loved ones can't afford to get them. And so something as simple as a pencil with a pencil sharpener, or even a book bag to put all your school supplies in, means so much to them.
So the kids can go to school.
And it's something that she wasn't able to have as an orphan, or, my mom and their other siblings. And so that's the reason why she has a passion for that, to be able to give back to orphanages, and kids and orphans, because she was once one too, growing up at that age.
So we heard the passion that the Lord placed on her heart to reach out to the children in Egypt, to provide them with school supplies and a backpack so that they can go to school and have the supplies that they need, understanding that poverty is such an issue. And she told us last year she was able to raise funds for 300 backpacks, put pencils and school supplies in those backpacks. And I want to show you some of that. And I'm going to pull it up right now. All right. I'm going to show them a little bit of that because she was so awesome to share that with us. And what do I do? I just click here, right?
Yeah. If you have your...
And boom. All right. It's going to look a little weird at first. I know, but check this out. All right. This is, oh, come on. You got to work. Okay. This is Abuna right here.
So you've seen him in a couple of our videos.
He did so much to keep us safe and take care of us while we were in Egypt.
Yes.
And just blew my mind the heart this man has to care for people and to love people. And so this is Abuna, and Abuna got all 300 local children together for Aunt Kamilia for this time together. Here's the children where Aunt Kamilia was coming in with another friend and was able to gift those in need 300 backpacks last year. You'll see right here, this is Aunt Kamilia right back here. So there she is. Here's Abuna.
Yeah.
Here's all the backpacks.
He's holding one too.
He's holding one right here. Okay, so there's Abuna holding the backpack. Here's all of the kids ready to receive a backpack. And here is video.
You'll hear them praying in Arabic.
I don't have the sound on though.
Oh, okay.
I think it's... This is all Arabic, obviously.
And they're all praying.
And they're praying, right?
And they're thanking God that He's with them.
Can you keep translating?
I'm trying to.
Here's Abuna right here. And then I think I've got one more. Do I have one more picture?
I think that's it.
Was that? No, I got one more picture of your aunt. And then here's Aunt Kamilia George right here again. Here's Abuna. There, that looks like, is that Iron Man or Avengers? So I'm going to close that off there. Close that down there and then pull this back up here. All right. So one of the things we were asking her is like, you were able to pull this off and provide over 300 backpacks with school supplies for the kids last year. I said, what's your goal this year? She said 500. And I was like, you know what? Our community on YouTube is so loving and so giving and are so a part of ReStorage and the love. Get
involved. Yeah.
So we told her, it was like,
big or small,
we have to share this with them. We have to share this with them. If you loved the aspect of what we shared with the history and the sights and the sounds and the whole aspect of Egypt, and you want to be a part of something even bigger than that and having an impact on one of the Egyptian child's life, we're gonna invite you to be a part of that with backpacks. So we told Aunt Kamilia, we said we want in. And not only do we want in, we want to invite our community on YouTube to be a part of it as well. And I think that's something that pretty much anybody and everybody could possibly do. If you want to provide one of the 500 backpacks. So Aunt Kamilia George is looking for 500 backpacks to fill. So if 500 people, there's 3,883 on here right now. If 500 people said, you know what, I'm going to send one backpack. One backpack. If our moderators can put the address in for right now for What the Hales, P.O. Box 106.
For our P.O. Box, yeah.
for our P.O. Box. P.O. Box 106, Worcester, Ohio. If 500 people decide, you know what, I'm going to buy one brand new backpack and I'm going to send it into What the Hales, and it's going to go over to Egypt, the start of the school year it would be the school year for 2022. So she's going to go back over in September. And then we said, we want to be a part of this. So a lot of people have said, will you go back?
Would you ever go back?
Would you ever go back?
Oh, look at that. Marilyn says she's in.
$1.99, she's in already.
Where are you going to steal them from, Marilyn?
Yeah, where are you going to take them from? You ain't taking them from little kids off the street, are you, Marilyn? Don't be stealing backpacks from kids that already have them.
Kids' milk money and buying backpacks with them.
But if you guys appreciate it.
So yeah, a lot of you have asked, would you ever consider going back to Egypt? And the answer is absolutely, to be a part of this project with Aunt Kamilia George.
So Aunt Kamilia was so much fun, and she has such a heart and a passion for her own people, and specifically the poor children. And Abuna has such a passion to help the poor in the community.
And everyone.
Oh yeah, Abuna is just
us. He went above and beyond
my goodness,
for myself,
so above
and for
beyond.
my family. And we're just like, don't you have other things to
like,
do?
Where did this man come from
so accommodating
to keep us safe and take us everywhere and to translate? He was so fantastic. And we said, we got to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And our community is so amazing.
Yes.
The YouTube community is so amazing. You guys rally around ReStoraging the love. And so many times people have asked us, what can I do to be a part of this? What can I do to be a part of this? And the answer we've always said, if you really want to be a part of this, watch every video from the beginning to the end. From the beginning to the end, that helps YouTube promote the videos.
JK.
Backpacks. Nice. But we want to invite you to actually be part of something even bigger now, not just watching the videos.
Sing Me a Love Song says maybe Marilyn will donate a trailer to deliver the backpacks in.
There you go. That would be nice, Marilyn. But if you want to be part of a video, and so many of you are with sending license plates, but if you want to be part of a What the Hales future video, it's an invite. It's not you don't have to do it, but if you want to do it, if you want to be a part of this, what we're going to ask you and invite you to do, send a brand new backpack. You saw Avengers. We just pulled this one out. There's a monkey backpack. Send a backpack straight to us. What the Hales, P.O. Box 106, Worcester, Ohio. Again, the moderators will put it in.
We're only asking for backpacks, but if you want to go above and beyond and send school supplies,
you want to put school supplies in,
it's completely up to you. So if it's from the heart, absolutely do it. But for now, we're just asking for your help for backpacks.
So the future, will we go back to Egypt? The answer is yes. We want to go back with you with 500 backpacks to be able to have an impact, ReStoraging the love to the poor and the needy with Aunt Kamilia George. And probably Tony George will probably be there as well, I would guess. But we want to go back and have an impact on the children and those in need in Egypt, with you by our sides helping make that happen. And so that'd be an incredible thing to do.
A lot of you are wondering, well, what type of school supplies? So keep in mind, a lot of these orphan kids are just like elementary school. So think of, they probably use the same supplies we do here in the US. So pencils, paper, like the essentials. Again,
papyrus.
No obligation, but if you want to go above the backpack and you want to send school supplies, think of like the essentials that an elementary student would use.
Crayons, pencils, ruler, but don't send inches because they're on a different system. So think about that as well. Glue, things along those lines. The goal is to pack 500 backpacks to be able to give to those in need, the children. And again, if you enjoyed the videos, if you loved seeing the sights of Egypt, understand that Egypt is a third world country. Understand that poverty is it's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere.
And one backpack will have such an impact on that child and on that orphan that
we are beyond blessed.
Yeah.
We are beyond blessed. If you live in the United States and you pay your bills, you have a roof over your head, you eat every day, and you're paying your bills. Even if you're paycheck to paycheck, you are in the top 1% of the wealthiest people in the world. And so to be able to give back and to do some things would be absolutely amazing.
Patty says, could you make an Amazon wish list?
George could probably work on that tomorrow because I have no clue.
That's a good idea.
I have no clue. But if you guys want to be a part of an upcoming video in Egypt, and for us to be able to share with the kids that this is of you guys and this is of the YouTube community, and to be able to go and give and make an impact in Egypt, that's what we want to go back for. So we did the pyramids, we did the hot air balloon, we did the tombs. We want to go make an impact in people's lives.
So the Amazon wish list, I'll definitely work on that. A lot of you are asking, well, when do you need it by? Again, we're aiming for September of this year. And then, so I would say the cutoff would probably be the end of August if you want it to go with us in September. And then once I have the Amazon wish list, I'm going to talk to my aunt first and see what she thinks. And then we'll announce it in a future live on how we want to go about doing that if you guys want to help out.
So you'll hear us keep talking about it until we go. With something that's going to be part of the channel this year is raising 500 backpacks. A lot of people say, hey, it's money. I think some people are saying, can we send money instead? Can we send money instead?
Let us brainstorm about
Let us
that.
brainstorm on how to do that.
I think the Amazon wish list would be more ideal, especially if you live outside of the US, because anyone can purchase off of Amazon.
Yeah.
No matter where.
And you can send the backpack that way. So that might be the more practical way. So we're putting it in your ears now to share with you. The goal is 500. There's almost 4,000 watching right now.
And if we can exceed 500,
then more kids.
My aunt will just be in tears. She'll go from a jokester to tearing up.
I've never done that. One time, and I was coming out of anesthesia. I was coming out of anesthesia. That was a very, very, very different thing. Very different thing. But being overseas in any country, you see the culture, you see the people, you fall in love with them, and especially the kids. And you're so appreciative for what God has blessed you with. And the goal ultimately is to be a blessing to others. And so we always want to have an opportunity to be able to give back in any way we can. And this is an opportunity that's close to us. And those are the things that we love to be a part of, the things that are close to us. And so whether that be, you see ReStoraging the love with storage units, but here we have Egypt, which is obviously
ReStoraging the love to Egypt.
How awesome.
Yeah.
To be able to do that.
Let's take ReStoraging the love to a whole new level.
With kids in need. With this community, I mean, we've got more than 500 license plates. License plates cost more than backpacks. With this community on YouTube, we ought to be able to easily come up with 500 backpacks, take them over to Egypt. And to get them to Egypt, I'm going to put them all in a suitcase. I've done lots of missions trips. I've always done the same thing. I use all of my luggage to take everything for the ministry. And the only clothes I take with me are the clothes on my back. And so it'll be one pair of clothes. It'll be one pair of shorts, one pair of underwear, one pair of socks, one t-shirt. And I'm going to have to survive on that because everything else is going forward to kids.
So a lot of people in the chat are saying Walmart would be better. You get a better deal. So yeah, I'll look into that as well. If you live in the US, speaking of Walmart, did we show them their version of Walmart in Egypt?
They see that tomorrow. Okay. They'll see Egypt Walmart.
Okay.
They'll see the Egypt Walmart. Yep.
Yes.
So this is one of the things that'll be a part of our channel.
It would be for a nonprofit organization.
So that's what's going to bring us back to Egypt. Not going to see the pyramids again, although it would be super cool to go climb in them again. Not to go see any more temples, although they are amazing. What would take us back to Egypt is actually to be a part of having an impact in people's lives, and
especially children.
Children. How can I don't know? How could anybody say no to maybe it's just me, but how could anybody say no to helping kids out, especially those in need? And so it's near and dear to George's family's heart, especially Aunt Kamilia, George, because of her childhood and your mom's childhood. And obviously it's close to George. It's family, it's her heritage, it's your culture, it's our home country, even though Ohio is your home and Florida is your home, your second home, but Egypt is your homeland. So very cool to be a part of that. We invite you to be a part of that. That's what's going to end up taking us back to Egypt. Yeah. So many want to know, will you go back? Will you go back? Will you go back? We want to go back to be with the kids.
With a bigger, better purpose.
Not for sightseeing, for impacting people's lives. So that's the goal. And how cool is that? That the I'm going to put the link in there again.
It's random that they sent a backpack.
It is.
We're going to talk about that tonight anyway.
I have no idea what was in there. So this is I'm going to put it in the chat one more time for the Amazon box. Maybe you buy an Amazon box and it's filled with backpacks, and you can be a part of this all together. So how cool is that? Backpacks already there. We got one already. We need 499 more backpacks.
Only 499 to go.
Piece of cake, right? Piece of cake. Anything else we need to talk about tonight, George?
Let's see. Well,
now you can talk about the auction.
I'm gonna look at. Mary wants to know any taboo topics or characters, any type of backpack that you guys can send. Again, keep in mind these are for elementary children, boys and girls. So
they love American culture.
They do love the Western culture. So anything will do. They will appreciate anything, no matter what you send. And then I will talk with my aunt about the whole Amazon and Walmart wish list, and then we'll keep you guys posted.
You're going to hear us talking about it more and more, but right now you're probably going to hear us sing a song.
You don't want to miss tomorrow's video. Aunt Kamilia is featured in that as well as the pastor. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. It was fun. We'll see you guys next Wednesday, and hopefully we'll do an auction then. No auction tonight. Jet lag is tore this woman up. And he needs to sleep. This one needs to sleep. Yeah, but you're going to be watching movies all night. You'll be like, will you stay up with me, please, and watch movies? Will you make some popcorn? Will you make popcorn? She'll lean over. This is how she does. She'll be like, we don't cuddle enough. Like, are you kidding? I've tried to cuddle you all day, and you pushed me away from you. That was then. This is now. We don't cuddle enough. That's not how it goes. So true. No. She'll be like, we don't cuddle enough. I say, we don't hug enough. We don't cuddle enough. If you loved videos of Egypt, type I love Egypt. I love Egypt. If you love videos of Egypt, type I love Egypt. If you love videos of Egypt, what rhymes with Egypt? That's a good one. And you want to see some more on Egypt. If you want us to go back to Egypt. If you love videos of Egypt. You got one more tomorrow. Type I love Egypt. No photo. No tip. Alabaster. No alabaster. No photo. Hello. Sura. Good night, everyone. We love you. Have a good rest of the week. We'll see you next Wednesday live. Say good night, Jeremy. Good night, Jeremy.